come in on our Alberon screen? It might.
Yep. It is.
Howdy, folks. Except, give me just 1 moment. We'll go back to break and change our overlay. Howdy, folks. Now, welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our Starfinder campaign where everything's going great. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, or GM, I guess. And joining me are my friends, Matt, Dan, Kara, Olive, and Ari. We are all dressed in 90s theme, if you couldn't tell. I think my camera's a little bit high for it, but you can see I got all these guys, not a sponsor. And so I'll just put that right back up.
Reptar's not a sponsor?
He's not. I tried. I reached out to his people, but they didn't get back to me.
They went to Brandeis.
Did they really? Reptar? Oh, man. Double major, I heard. So we are going to play Starfinder at some point, but before we do, a couple of announcements. First of all, there are a couple different ways. I'm going to just keep playing with this, sorry. A couple ways that you can support the stream. Those ways are with bits and channel points. Channel points are something that you accumulate for free just by watching. You can use those to impact the story in terms of where Meeg and Mari, two important people from Spice's past, are going to settle after the fallout from the Perdido arc. And so you can either use your channel points to steer both Mari and Meeg either towards the Eclipse Mall or towards Ara's Bay, and that will likely see us return to one of those locations in a more meaningful way in the future. And then bits you can use to impact the story right away in a very meaningful way. A few bits will maybe send an intern out. The intern Efi we've already met, and you guys have already dissuaded her from becoming a bounty hunter.
But
so you guys are
well.
you guys are 0 for 1 in terms of trading.
Start up a
bounty
bakery.
hunters.
She's doing well for herself.
Yeah, no,
She sent us
all because of
chocolate.
us.
Yeah, no,
Baker's
absolutely,
chocolate.
absolutely. But no bounty hunters have been produced from the system yet, so you could get another try.
And so did Kevin.
You could also potentially spend a few more to dispatch a professional bounty hunter. This might be somebody that the group has met in the past. This might be anybody from TJ's bounty board rankings that is ranked at or below Mosaic Team 5's level, which actually includes quite a few people now. You can also spend quite a few more to order the whole cast pizza, although we have sushi. Thank you so much, Ari. Oh, thank you so much, Ari. We have so much good food to celebrate Matt's birthday. Which is why we're all in 90s theme.
Yo.
That's why Dan's going to be leaning way far back for the entire session.
Not because he does that all the time.
We have a
lean too
special
far
boom
forward.
mic back there just for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I do.
You just
forward.
lean.
You
When
lean to the side.
Too much.
I get like a 1,000
Definitely
yard
to the
stare when I
side.
RP and I just go.
We all definitely need a little bit of work in terms of our framing. Me more than most, actually. I'm usually out of focus. But those are all the different kinds of things you can do with channel points and bits. You can see them down in the description. We also have social media at Alberon RPG. You can find different photos of things. I'll put our battle camera on. Look at our battle of sushi.
Woo!
But
Who's gonna win?
when there is encounters, puzzles,
yeah.
things like that, we had such a complex puzzle last week.
Hey.
We have those things posted on Instagram at Alberon RPG. And then tomorrow night, we are playing Courts of Everest session 15 or 16. I forget off the top of my head. It is our original D&D campaign set 10 years after the first 4-year-long campaign that we ran. And that is going to be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And everything is going totally according to plan and totally normal. And you should check that out.
It is wonderful.
I'm very excited to see if anybody has caught on to what's going on. And then finally, as a sponsor, or not as a sponsor, but as definitely not as a sponsor, but as the person providing all the different sound effects and music that we use, for instance, this lovely mall music that is the ambient background music right now, we use Sirenscape, which is a digital tool set that you can use to add sound effects to your life or games or whatever. And with that, I'm going to get us into our recap. Give me just one moment here.
I want to shout out Dan and Stage, my new roommates who are in the chat.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, wait, we have a couple things that we want to do real quick. So yeah, of course, hello Dan, hello Sage. And then Matt, you had something.
Yeah, there's tubes.
I'm like not used to.
Open the tubes right now.
Open the
tubes. Have you went check
This is a
your
birthday
chair?
gift
You get a tube.
from
You
the
get a
birthday
tube.
boy.
Yeah. So tubes all around here.
The
I'm gonna
gift.
put up the
This
players.
gift is the real.
This is backwards.
We've been waiting for these
Oh
because
my God,
Matt
why
has
is it
been
heavy?
asking us about our characters for some reason, but he wouldn't tell us. And so now.
Oh!
Wow! I'm so excited!
Oh my God!
Oh my god, my girl!
Whose
Oh
art is this?
Lord Studios.
Holy shit! This is from that con, that guy! Tell me this doesn't give you
my God, I
Azula
look like a
vibes.
badass.
Holy
We need to see
shit!
Shane.
Yeah, right. Gibbs. Like in terms of capturing Gibbs, it's kind of hard, I think, to like really. We've had a lot of people say it. It's
Guys,
tough
who
to
did it
Mosaic,
best?
But wow.
Wow!
What's he gets?
Holy shit!
Oh my God!
That is
so great.
amazing!
You gotta slide yours over more, man.
Echo!
Echo! Oh my God! They got the eyes.
I got that.
This is amazing. Look at Shade, so
Oh my gosh,
sick.
And so we were
so
saying, like, one of
good.
the things that we could do now that we saw the size of them is have hooks, and maybe like when we're doing Mosaic Team 5, those could be behind you guys. As, like,
Oh, yes.
yeah, right. So maybe Dan, you could help me with that because you're Dan, the construction guy. But yeah, so Matt had all of these made. He had them commissioned. All of your crimes are on there. There's
Child
some
endangerment.
Most of our
yes, so yeah, most of your crimes. Actually, for a few of you, your crimes did not fit. But
too many crimes.
yes, for a few of you. There's aliases, things like that. We'll make sure that those things are posted on Instagram as well. It's super
Yes.
cool.
So cool.
Oh.
Yeah, and Matt had it all set up so that when you unrolled it, it was like a foof kind of unrolling. So also super cool.
So I'm gonna make a bunch of these for my wedding.
Yeah, right?
Thanks for the inspirations. Totally stealing it.
Yeah, so super cool. Thank you, Matt.
Wow.
Matt, happy birthday!
Happy birthday
and happy
to you.
birthday to us.
Yeah.
Thank
Great
you.
guy gives gifts on his birthday.
I know.
Who does that?
I feel like that's kind of a pretty standing thing, it seems like. But yeah, awesome. Any other announcements before we get started?
We love you.
I love you guys.
I love you.
Happy
That
birthday,
was
Matt. We love you. We love all of you guys.
So Joe, you saw them all in advance.
I saw the art and stuff. I only saw the posters themselves. I only saw shades today.
Okay.
Like right before you guys got here. They took a little bit to get here. But
Took a little while.
Mosaic Team 5. Last we played, you arrived at the Eclipse Mall and found that Mosaic had upgraded your membership to the silver tier, which includes refreshment facilities and a remote shopping terminal. But despite this, you still decided to split up and go shopping in small groups or alone. Gibbs, you immediately put Fried's policy of frying anything to the test and brought the entire side of beef that Spice had hauled out of Sitsu's freezer, purchased medical supplies, and traded away most of your squeaky clean supply for some additional things. Spice, you went shopping with Mari and Meeg. You put Shade's newfound responsibility as the holder of the team's corporate spending account really to the test by purchasing new gear for Mari, Meeg, and yourself. Meeg did buy you a new eye to replace the one that she had gouged out during your fight.
yes, you did.
Echo, you tried desperately to avoid Bubs. However, though you managed to covertly acquire a private Courses Flop near antique communicator, you were unfortunately beset upon by Bubs and were dragged or brought. Bubset, I like that. You were Bubset upon and brought to Rick's Sporting Goods and Garden Center. There you acquired the needed supplies for a small garden, of which the miniatures I have coming, and they're
Like a 26 pack of succulents.
No, to fit on the to scale. I have
Oh,
to scale,
nice.
yeah, for the
Wow.
ship. There's going to be a garden.
I'm so excited for this.
Well, so
card.
part of the very first part of this
So
whole
excited.
campaign was, well, I'll get there next. Anyways, yes. So you guys went, you got supplies for a small garden along with 50 packets of seeds, much to my chagrin, to plant at some
forgot
point
about
or
that.
another. I don't know how you could forget about that. Bubs, in a private moment, you found behind the counter of DeGray's a series of posters that depicted Jade Brunei, a figure that you have identified as your mother, and managed to procure one through an awkward interaction. Shade, you managed the group's funds initially, kind of traveling through the mall, though you eventually did double back to the ship to bond with Squeak and craft some items. All of you met up after your various bits of shopping adventure and gathering different elements of gear, some of you more wisely spending your credits than others. You met up at Everything That Glows, this place owned by relatives of Gibbs. Peep met up with all of you there as well, returned Nikolai to Echo, and all of you were able to put
I
into...
still have a Nikolai.
Huh?
I still have Nikolai.
Well, to the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Echo's
On behalf
highest that
of-
interaction. So, all of you were able to meet up with Peep, discuss some of the elements of this upcoming mission and what you hope to do. And at the end of the last session, I believe you were getting ready at Peep's. You guys were just at the end of your Everything That Glows encounter, and you guys were kind of making a decision as to what to do next.
I'm on the ship, I believe.
You were on the ship
I'm
crafting,
on the ship.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Echo,
that's where we are right
Bubs,
now.
and
Shade,
Shade
yeah.
on the ship.
Oh. Hey, girlfriend! Hey!
So is everybody back on the ship?
Do we have anything to say to Peep to finish up? Did you buy the thing you wanted from Everything That Glows? If not, I'll buy
Yeah, I
it for
just
you.
got the toolkits.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think I bought everything.
Oh, real quick housekeeping. I'm going to give Matt the bolo tie multi-tool,
Okay.
Dope.
and also there's one other thing.
Do you actually have
It's a
those?
multi-purpose accessory.
Yes.
And so that's a real thing, and it becomes a grappling gun, it becomes, I think, a lockpick, it becomes a couple different cool tools.
Adding that to my engineering to integrate it.
Also,
Okay.
the
Yeah,
whisper comms I want to give to Shade as well.
Okay.
Just real quickly, I want to buy from Everything That Glows an upgrade to my communicator, or because mine's broken right now.
Okay. So, I mean, if you want to do that, Chip has like a whole variety of different communicators. Are you looking for something that's just basically a replacement of what you have now?
Now that I know that there's upgrades available, does he have any upgrades?
When I talk about upgrades, these are like they're all functionally the same thing. They're aesthetically,
Alright.
if you want to get one that's like gold, or you want to get one that has like, Chips will paint stuff on it for you, not very well.
No, then I'll just get a 1-to-1
Yeah.
that's not broken.
No problem. And I think Chips, will actually, if you are good with it, we'll just exchange it for you and repair that and sell it later.
Dope.
Cool. No problem. You have a fixed communicator.
Then I think everything else we're good on. Cool.
All right.
Then I'll say my sad goodbyes and wish Peeps
Who's discording things?
a good luck or whatever Peeps on his way to do,
Okay. No problem.
and I'll go back to the ship.
So all of you return
Including
to the ship.
Mari and Meeg.
Mari and Meeg as well. Although I will say, as you guys are beginning to walk back, that is probably when Meeg would turn to you and say, "So where are you heading next?"
I owe Gibbs a favor, so I assume the Mines of Sirens. Do you know it?
I've heard of it. That's a dangerous place, Spice.
Yeah, I know. But hey, Perdido was a dangerous place because of you, bitch!
You can see her lip twitches a little bit, and you're not really sure if it's like a frown or a smile. But she sighs for a second, and then she goes, "There's Vesk there. There was intelligence talking all about some gathering, and not small."
I don't know if you remember Saibo, but I told her about what we found on Tashawn. What was the
Dorado.
Dorado. And I kind of... So I don't know if you know her, but I trust her. Maybe I shouldn't, but I gave her a lot of info.
One of the problems with the GPF right now is whatever they're planning is causing them to turn a blind eye to a lot of different things. Piracy is worse through all of the Protectorate space.
Piracy.
Yes, because most of the military is on reconnaissance missions, but I don't think that's what it is. That's where Gokuroku has been. That's
Ooh.
where he's coming back from.
Spice, immediately her skin crawls and she winces. I hate that man with my whole life.
If I find him out there, his life is mine.
Well, it won't be hard to find him. He'll be looking for you now.
Ugh,
All of you.
damn it. Well, for the time being, we have other business.
For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing.
Spice smiles, like, cheek to cheek, and she goes in for a hug.
She like hugs you back and she goes, "Don't get me wrong, you shouldn't have left in the first place, but coming back, you guys said things a little bit better."
I like to hope so. I didn't make things right with Hallie, like I wish I had, but keep an eye on her for me.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
What?
Mari and I were thinking of staying here while you guys are going wherever you're going, just until we can figure out what next step to make. And we can work on trying to see if we can get Aoi here too. Maybe
Okay.
a few others.
That works great for me. We have a beacon to this mall, so I can check in on you whenever.
If you can just think of any place that might be good for all of us to stay, that would be helpful.
Well, I told you about Nadia on Norris Bay. She needs a family and she needs workers, so.
That sounds nice. I can't even imagine what that would be like. And Mari's just like, I can. We should go there.
This bitch knows.
And Miga's just like, it's just, I know the GPF do, there was something there too.
There was something there. I didn't have time because Bubbles was in trouble, but I did run into a few officers there. But they left. It was odd. I can't explain it.
We'll look into it while you guys are gone.
Okay.
She like, her and Mari kind of stop walking as you continue a little bit. And is there anything else that you want to say to Mari or Mig?
No, she just gives him a big hug and probably starts bawling her eyes out, and they all cry together, and then
I
separate.
slip my little paw into Spice's hand, like letting her have the moment, but just sort of holding her hand as I know we're gonna eventually walk away.
I'll support you, Soki.
Goodbye, I love you guys. Take care, be safe.
This is like the dog with the vest that like leans into you and you're starting to get really upset.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, so you comfort Spice a little bit, and Mig and Mari, you guys have your farewells. Mm-hmm. All of you now return to the ship.
Is Peep staying at the Eclipse Mall, or is he leaving?
He's gonna leave like as soon, unless there's anything that you guys want to do with Peep.
I wanted to give him back his gun.
Yeah, sure. He'll go back to the ship with you. He's at the ship. He kind of returns, and so all of you now coming together in the ship. He is going to come up and he's going to say, "All right, so you guys saved a little bit of money, I guess. Thanks. This is everything that we have, though. So if something goes wrong, I mean, this isn't a lot. I'll see what I can do, but."
Okay. I have this to give you back too.
What?
I also have the pistol.
Oh, okay. You slide the pistol over to him. He goes, "Oh, thanks. Does everybody have theirs?"
Yeah, I get mine.
Echo like produces it from the folding grip.
Okay.
Spice reluctantly looks at Peep, looks at her inventory, looks at Peep. Can I keep the silencer? For now, I'm just borrowing
Make a
it.
diplomacy check.
Nice. Just because, you know, guns are loud, and if we're gonna be fighting in space. Of course.
Isn't the vacuum of space like ultra quiet?
Sound does not travel through a vacuum.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is gonna be really good. 27 plus 5, 30, 32.
Yeah, with the 32, Peep he looks and he goes, "No, I guess that makes sense. It would be better used with you, but just that belonged to somebody that was important to me, so just be careful with it."
Okay, you can trust me. She winks.
-60 diplomacy
Yeah.
Then he turns around, looking a little bit more anxious now, and he just goes, "Does anybody else need anything?"
No, I think we're good.
Have you guys thought at all about what you're going to do after Siren?
I need to pop this eye in. I need to find someone who can put this in.
Oh, should we do that before Siren? Though?
I think so.
We'll be heading to Lola's.
Okay.
You want to come to Lola's Diner?
I didn't really want to come here, if we're being totally honest, but make another diplomacy check. if you're
Peep,
trying-
Can I help with that? And I'll be like, I owe you dinner.
Oh, I'm so excited. I want to try the human lasagna when I get there.
They have human lasagna.
It's lasagna for humans.
Oh,
Okay,
natural
+6.
19.
Okay, +6 conditional modifier.
So 29
Plus 6.
plus 5. 29 plus 5 is 34. Plus
Peeps coming.
6 is
Peeps coming.
40. That's a 40.
Lasagna has layers just like my sandwiches. Okay. But I'm no more. I can't go on another mission with you.
Okay.
So this is
It's
after this. I do have to go.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
And is there? Would you know this? I don't know this. Do you usually pay a doctor to put in eyeballs? Is that like? Do we?
I mean, that's surgery. Yeah, I've always paid for surgery. But with you guys now having this upgraded tier, the cost should be covered.
Cool. Maybe you'll be like our prior authorization or whatever.
I mean, I'll approve it. Yeah.
Cool beans.
Oh, I can't wait for a new eye.
Yeah.
All
Me
right.
also.
Strap in.
Okay. I'm actually gonna take my ship, and then I'll meet you there.
Strap into your ship.
I'll see you later. And he just like begins walking off. He turns around. He's like, "There's nothing else, right? See you guys at Lola's."
See you at Lola's.
Okay.
All right,
guys-
plug
you
in
guys-
the coordinates.
Do you guys have a beacon there?
We do. I'll send you the coordinates.
No, I have one there. I just sometimes it can. You guys seem to take a long time sometimes.
Everybody
I'll see you
looks
there.
at Shade.
And he turns around and you see the little Yosoki just kind of padding off to his ship. No problem. So, for all of you now aboard the ship, are you heading off and into the drift, or what are you doing?
Yeah, heading using the beacon to get to Lola's.
It's a one-time beacon, right?
No. So this
No,
beacon,
it just goes directly to.
yeah, it only goes to Lola's, but it allows you to travel in one day to this particular point, similar to the Eclipse Mall beacon that you guys have.
That's awesome.
I'd probably, after we're done with the meeting, I'd take Echo's hand and like drag her to where we're setting up the garden.
Okay.
Where are we setting up
Please,
the garden?
please indicate that because that's up to you guys.
So I did ask this question before when we were about to do the launching the attack on Governor Sitsu's mansion about dirt getting into components of ships.
yeah.
Generally not good.
So engineering bay would
So
be
part of
bad.
yes,
Generally very
however,
bad.
part of the equipment that you have, like when you went to Rick's Sporting Goods and Garden Center,
Yeah.
it wasn't just to get like a pot; it was to get a like ship-based hydroponic gardening system. So like you aren't those credits weren't going to like a wooden box. That is slightly more high tech than that, but
We got some raised beds.
You know, if we
you do present the opportunity for dirt to get into electronic components when you put it near electronic components. So
we
yes, that is something to
removed
think about.
the drift mist tree.
We are not getting
Unacceptable.
rid of the drift.
The
mist.
dri-
There's
the
this whole
drift-
alley right here next to the.
The cargo bay is actually the Driftmas Bay.
Yeah.
It encompasses 80% of the ship.
Oh,
Yeah,
drift miss
if
bay.
there's somewhere that's like
Drift
secluded
miss
with
bay.
shit.
What's
the
this?
Engineering
That's the
station.
engineering bay.
Can you guys like shove the tree just the just a tiny bit so that they can see just the little bit of the ship? There we go. Yeah, ship and sushi.
Maybe we could do it like maybe near the door of the engineering bay.
Well, there's this anti-closet or whatever this thing is.
That's
Anti-chamber.
the end of the hallway.
Yeah, but like,
That's where people.
I just read chat. And I apologize so much. I don't read chat nearly enough as I should. But Talon, I thought of the exact same lyrics when Spice said that.
Yeah,
So funny.
this seems like a good place. This is like a no man's land right here.
So that is the thing that goes
That's
to
to the
your
gunners.
weapon.
Yeah, that's
And
the
so
gunners.
if you
so we don't use that.
I mean, Bubs, you'll be squeezing through that
should
every
just
time
do
you
it
run to
over
the
here.
guns.
Do it over here. We can move my bike project into the engineering bay, and it can go in this corner.
All right. As long as it's kind of secluded, can we maybe like do it like behind the lockers or something?
Yeah, well, that's where the hatch controls are. So on
Like,
this side.
how big are they? They're
Yeah, but I feel like if we have a problem with the hatch, it might go right out the garden, out the window.
I mean, that's gonna happen with everything. We're not.
We have to really prioritize. You know what? Where is life storage put? Because let's just take that out.
You can
put the
move it
garden in life
around. We'll
support.
put it in the fucking thing, and then you can decide later. It's going there for now.
Okay, okay.
Fuck.
I feel like we're getting in a
Exactly.
position
my
I know
captain.
where I think it would be the best thing.
Where would
Actually,
you put it?
I can't say that.
Probably like. Put it
What I will say
In
is
the armory.
bedroom slash.
Gibbs has this big like robotic drone thing that goes very slow and is very stable, and might be a good moving platform for a beginning garden.
Oh, is it large enough for that?
I mean, it's
a Mars
The garden is a
rover.
little bit bigger than the actual like the width of the robot, but the robot
I was
is
thinking
stable
the
and strong
Alexa.
enough that certainly it could support.
Yeah, we can do that then. Let's say we do that.
Yeah.
Mobile guard.
That's up to Gibbs.
You want to take my bag? And then after like 6 hours of that, which is how I spend the drift time, is bitching about my guy being taken. I'm like, I guess it's fine. But you have to listen to 6 hours of Gibbs being like upset with you.
You take 1 point to stamina damage and it just slowly refills.
So I imagine I'm like setting it up with Echo. Echo. I'm gonna take out. I imagine he like has it in like the pillowcase that Nikolai is in. He's gonna take it out and hand it back to Echo. Pete gave me this, and you weren't in everything that glows, so I figured I'd just grab it for you.
It appears Nikolai is damaged.
I mean, are you sure it's damaged? I mean, it just seems like it's just missing a pot that.
His outer shell is missing.
I mean, we can. I'm gonna like look around, see if I have like a shell or like not a shell, like a pot.
A pot. A turtle shell just sitting around.
A pot that I could help.
You have several like small plastic pots that have little drainage area. It's like a self-draining pot, and so you have several of them as part of your.
How about this? And I present it and I like put Nikolai inside of it.
It just kind of slides like all the way down.
Is that better?
Nikolai, how are you feeling?
You see Echo's eyes like like zoom in a little bit.
I believe this will be satisfactory.
Oh, good. We're already getting our thumbs green already.
Why would our thumbs need to be green?
Oh well, our thumbs aren't actually green. It's like an expression about like when you garden, like you're. Oh, forget it. Well, I wanted to ask you about Nikolai. It's not really like any other plant I've seen before, and I sometimes I see you like moving it around like someone would do to like find the best light, but you never really do it near windows or any lamps or anything, and you didn't even really seem to understand the whole concept of gardening when we were in the...
Are you insulting my intelligence?
Oh no. I mean, hey, if like if that's how you garden, I mean, I think that's fine.
I do not see a reason to move Nikolai to the window when we are traveling through space.
Oh, yeah. And Bubba's like gets a little embarrassed. That makes sense. And it's who am I to say, like what is a plant? Like people always say like androids. They're like when they look at them, they're like, oh, they have all this like uncanny valleyness to them, but I don't see that, They always say like, oh, it's when something looks almost human, but not quite. It gives off this.
I am
weird
not
feel.
human, and that is okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even see you like as someone who's like uncanny or like that. It just.
Do people see me as uncanny?
Well, it's weird. Like, even if you look up the guy who like made up that term uncanny valley, he even changed his mind later in life. He thought that the standard for judging what is uncanny wasn't a human. He thought maybe it could be something else. Like, I don't know. He said after going into Buddhism, he thought a dead body was the least uncanny thing. Something about it being like free from suffering and all that kind of stuff. I just think, if his standard could change, maybe society's standard could change. Maybe, androids aren't uncanny. Maybe Nikolai is a plant.
I get the sense that you are trying to make me feel better. For some reason. I am not upset, and Nikolai is a plant.
Yeah, of course it is a plant. I wasn't saying it wasn't. It's just, it just... Whatever.
Do you find me uncanny?
No.
Do you find me strange?
No, it's...
Then I do not see the problem.
It just, people always think I'm strange, and sometimes I thought, you would understand what it's like.
there are many others like me.
There's no one really like me.
My name is Echo 72549 because there are 72,549 Echo units currently in use. Actually, there are probably more. I am just the number 772,000. Oh, Echo would be able to say this. He's not able to say this.
549.
Welcome to what always happens.
I know. There are more than 72,549 Echo units in use currently. That means there are approximately over 80,000 of us.
Oh, Bubs is like doing like math in his head.
Oh, that's...
Unlike humans, we do not have as much variety. The units on Akaton did indeed seem different. But that could be a programming error.
Programming error how? Like, how are they different?
In subtle ways.
I mean, sometimes I think you're different from, other androids I see in subtle ways.
I am different from other androids. I am an Echo unit.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. I mean, like, from, like, other Echo units. Like, when we met, like, Wanty on Ars Bay, I don't know, you seem different from him.
Wanty?
One-T.
Oh.
1-T-1-1.
was not an Echo unit.
What? Sorry, I'm not
Oh, it was a Rocco.
Rocco unit.
Oh, yeah.
Very different. Very, very different.
I'm sorry. Maybe it is hard for me to distinguish other androids from other androids. I know maybe I may have that bias, but I'm trying, and I want you to know that, like, even if it's a difference between you and another android, or a difference between you and another Echo unit, I just don't see you as a unit. I see you as a friend.
Thank you, Bubs.
And I also see you as, like, a gardening buddy.
And I give her like a little like tease like on the shoulder.
Oh.
Like a certain toy that I can't talk about because I will start singing the theme song.
But they won't.
Fits the
though.
theme.
Anyways.
Indeed.
And I imagined we're probably doing the gardening stuff. And the way I have it set up, I imagined, like we said, we did the D100 rolls, and I just wanted to
Yes,
have
you
like
did.
the random ones that we got.
Oh, yes.
So I imagine like five plants for me would be good.
So you want to plant five?
For would that be good? Would you want to do 5?
She wants to do none.
Echo fully does not understand how this functions. This is very different gardening.
So Dan, roll a d6.
Okay. And do you want to roll as well? Because I mean, I'm giving you.
Sure. Echo will just be following along, and I guess maybe a D4 because Echo's not following along very well.
Well, no, because it's 6 categories here.
Okay.
But just hang tight. You
I'll
can
hang
do
tight.
this. This is so there are packages of plants that I've put together here, and so you're from the pool of plants that you have, such that it will make sense for space. It will make sense for like you're not going to be growing algae, things like that. So yeah.
Grab some food. Pick some
a
carrots.
Okay.
1, a 6,
Space cabbage.
Okay.
That's what I
a
want.
5,
It's like regular cabbage, but it's
a
in
4,
space.
a 3.
Oh my god.
Did
no.
you
Oh my
get?
god! If I get a 2.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Yeah.
After the 1.
4.
Okay.
No
So,
streets.
oh, and you don't want to know, right?
I don't want to know.
Okay, no problem.
I want to put
Part of gardening
the
is not
label
knowing.
underneath it, and then once it finally grows to be big, I imagine me and Echo will reveal it.
So yeah,
Echo wants to know.
So if Echo, well, okay. So what I will do is I will message you what they are, and you can know ahead of time.
Would she try to look at them, or
Probably just read them.
Bubs would stop you from trying to look at them?
Bubs could try.
So this is what I'll say. For the moment, Echo does not know what they are. At any point, Echo, if you message me and are like, oh, when Bubs is asleep, I'm just going to go read them because I'm an Android and I just have to power off for a little bit. Totally cool. You can do that, and I'll give you the answers then.
Go dig through the
Don't break the
trash.
sanctity of the
You
garden.
and Dan can figure out what you want to do with that. But no problem. You guys have a gardening adventure.
All your plants are gonna die because you don't know what they are.
Shade, are you
All you need is
keying
love
into
and
the
care.
drift and you're beginning this? So this is all happening as you guys are underway?
Yes, I would do that, and then I would spend some time working in the engineering bay, and then I want to call a family dinner
Okay.
at a certain
Whoa,
point.
we haven't had one of those in a while.
So first, you transition into the drift, leaving the bay, getting away from this
After we've
planet,
settled.
leaving that like scorching star behind. You make your way into the drift. The sky gives away into these interstellar purple, almost iridescent but dark-looking clouds. And you key in the drift beacon to Lola's Diner. Immediately, 24 hours shows up, then 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, and it begins to count down. So what are you doing in the engineering bay?
So I want to start. I have a bunch of stuff that I want to engineer, but I think the one that's most feasible with what I have right now is just upgrading the net gun.
Okay.
And
I'm
then
going to make
I-
it an electrified
have a-
net gun.
Yeah, I have a list of other stuff
Okay.
that I'll share with you because it's going to take more than the 24 hours unless I did.
So
it
for this
the whole
period
time.
of time, go ahead and make an engineering check.
Oh, I'm gonna use my
Flash of
the
genius.
thing. It's essentially my flash of genius. I forget what it's called, but it's the thing where I can re-roll one skill check a day.
I remember what that is. I can't remember what it's
Yeah.
called either, but yes.
Is that new?
No,
No, it's my memory module.
Yeah.
yeah. Because that was a net one.
I think that was at level 3. That was like one of the first things you had.
Did you get another nat one?
No,
Happy birthday!
I got a 2.
Nice.
So
Hey.
that's still an 18.
Okay.
But yeah, that's an 18. So probably
So you imagine this upgrade should take no more than like 6 hours. It's going to be a pretty easy process. And as you're going and you're moving, there's a point where the console begins to flare and lights begin to go off and it calls your attention. And you would recall there's an element as you're getting a little bit like further into the drift where the walls become much more tendrily and they kind of move out. And this is a particularly difficult part of the drift to navigate, the part around Lola's. And so there's a couple of times where you get called into the cockpit and you kind of lose your place, and that does make it take a lot longer. And so certainly you got this done. Starting and stopping does mean that there are points where you have to like restart a step, you have to undo some of your work and
it's
redo
like
it.
You try to build a set of Legos and then you have to stop halfway through and you go back and you're like, what step was I on?
Who built this helmet?
Thanks, John.
He finally
Yeah,
did
thank you,
it.
John,
Yeah.
for finally actually doing it. Although Emily
Oh my God.
did a lot of parts right. And
She was the only one who did it right.
Yeah, he literally was like, I can figure out which parts Emily did.
yeah, we're talking about, we had our getaway, we had a retreat. Thank you so much, Ari. We had an Albron RPG retreat.
So fun.
I know.
So
Ugh.
fun.
Man,
Looking
what a good
forward to
life
the
we are
Cape
living.
one.
We are party people.
So, you do eventually end up making that upgrade a success. The difference is going to be a little bit more expensive in terms of UPBs than you had initially planned on. And so, generally speaking, you are paying the difference in terms of like upgrading that.
Yeah.
You are paying 10% on top of that. And so I can help you calculate that a little later if you want.
Okay.
But this is what you're spending probably most of this time doing.
6+ hours.
Yeah, there's a point where Squeak like steals apart and is like running through the halls, and you have to chase him down.
I have to like
He's lost a little bit of his
Yeah.
discipline, in the time that you've been away from him.
whip
So
him back into shape.
yeah, but he gets it pretty quick.
And then you call it dinner.
Once
So
I
that's-
finish that,
We'll get back to that real quick, and that will be
yeah.
right before we get into Lola's. Echo, are you doing anything for this time?
Apparently gardening.
Sorry, you're gardening. You're gardening. That's what you're doing.
You could say it with a little bit more.
gardening.
Is there
for
a point where you're like
16 hours
escaping for like an hour, like pretending that you need to use the bathroom, and then like
just
you know?
staring at the dirt? 24
There,
hours.
Life's a garden.
refresh my
Dig
skin?
it.
I think there would be like a time where Echo would try to be like,
I need to use the facilities.
Oh, okay. Well, make sure you wash your hands because we don't want to get the dirt. Just make sure you wash your hands.
And Echo like slips around into their bunk room.
Okay. You slide into the bunk room, making sure, I assume, that nobody else is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Gibbs, are you under your bed for any particular reason?
No, but I am looking for one of the androids' attentions at some point when I stop bitching and moaning.
No problem. So we'll get to that in a second. Right now, as you're getting in, the best way that you can tell that Gibbs is not there is you could hear Gibbs just be like, "How dare you just assume?" And like there are times where like Gibbs is like fully sitting, like watching Bubs and Echo, like cross-legged, totally like relaxed posture, but just complaining, loud, like angry. But you are totally alone. You can kind of hear where other people are at this moment. So what are you doing?
Echo wants to start tooling the flop to be like off the main network communication relay.
I like first of all your expression when you said tuning the flop.
I have never heard that.
Yeah, what's tuning the flop?
There is a device that Echo acquired called the Corsus Flop, and it is a communicator that really kind of bridges the gap between the cell phone and the communication device.
Yes.
In our last session.
You know who also has a flip phone? Richard.
There you go. Nice. Flip phones are great. And so you take out the Corsus Flop, and you can certainly, really all that takes is just activating it on a SIM card, essentially, a galactic SIM card. And so no problem. That takes like a second. You can just pop it in, you like boot it up, it does the hello world, and you have to register your thumbprint.
They want to basically program in something so that it's a bit more of a secure connection, so that the relay to 540 is a little bit more secure.
Okay, and then when you talk about a relay, what do you mean by relay?
I guess basically it's setting up long distance communication.
You received like a fragment and this kind of like it was very degraded to the point that you only got a little bit of it. It would be hard to like relay back to whatever this was. So you have the communicator.
Yeah.
Unclear as to how you could use it in this moment to like connect it. So think about, unless there's a way that you can think that you would like to do that.
So Echo received the transmission on their communicator, right?
Correct.
Can't really trace it back on the new communicator.
It would be a much more involved process.
It would be much more involved. They would have to start a project and then casually go back to gardening.
Hacking the mainframe, going gardening. This is like the 2 dates at once.
Yes. I think Echo would maybe try to start like searching through the back channels to see like what connections were made and where up to a certain point.
Okay, make a computer's check. And this is just kind of like what you're able to do in brief moments that you can escape.
Yeah. Echo's aware that this isn't going to be very in-depth. This is like Echo realizes that they don't have much chance to start this, but they need to start it soon.
Yep, no problem.
Oh, shit muffins. That's a 20.
So you begin to look, and there's a brief period of time where you have this code, and you're recognizing it's almost like it has a half-life. As you look at it, the whole message is no longer there. This is degrading pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so initially it would be hard to bounce back. This already nearly impossible. You do see with that check, there was more to this message. You're seeing like the core of it. This was hidden in something else at one point, and I would say with that check, kind of hard to tell what that is. As best as you can tell, at the moment, you would need to hang tight, and to really get a track on this, you would need to do something like right when you receive it, when it's still fresh, when you still have those connections. But you have the Corsus Flop.
Nice.
And it comes with that brick shooting game where you can like bounce the ball back and forth.
Brick attack,
Love that one. So you have that, which is really going for you. Spice, are you doing anything over the course of this before the family meeting?
Nope. Spice is sitting blankly staring at the drift mystery.
Okay, no problem. You stare at the drift mystery. The couch that once held you, Mari, and Meeg seeming a little bit more empty. Gibbs, you are looking for the android's attention.
And sort of on my way with a box full of bullshit, I see Spice, and I go, oh, I think. And I kind of pull out from my vest the candle. I got 2 of the candles, and I sort of slide you over the one of the Evolution Queen.
Which is
Somehow vaguely related to Hylax?
This
Yeah,
I don't think I would
This
know.
is like a Sharen, like goddess figure. And the Evolution Queen, I would say just from, I keep rolling up my sleeves, which looks so weird when you have a sleeve.
yeah.
I gotta stop that. I'm in the 90s today,
Yeah.
okay?
Suffer!
Stay
I'm
in
the
character.
90s today, okay?
He suffered for a fashion in the 90s.
Yes. All right, hang on. I just gotta go get my rotary phone. So you... Sorry, I really lost my train of thought.
The Evolution
candle.
Queen.
Right, so this evolutionary figure is one that, with your kind of knowledge of Hylax, there are people that believe, like, in different cultures, maybe this is the same figure, and just kind of viewed in different ways.
Okay.
But this is a deity primarily worshipped by the Sharen.
You wouldn't believe how much religious stuff kind of ends up in the trash at Junk Falls. But I kind of, I know some of my stuff can kind of align with some of that stuff, but I haven't really ever pursued it. But this candle, that's a powerful, hardy woman depicted there. Look at that carapace.
Spice looks down at her left hand, which has the tattoo of Hylax on it, thinks about how Mari's and Meeg's is all messed up, and how hers is still very much intact, and looks at the candle with the same face. And she's like, "Thank you, Gibbs."
What's that about?
Well,
Who's...
you're talking about this tattoo?
Yeah, you showed it to that woman who, like, boarded our ship, and, like, that seemed to be pretty cool. And I thought it was kind of a gang thing at first, but maybe I'm wrong.
I like the idea that gives, like, Spice is in a gang, which does kind of track with stuff that's happened, yeah.
So, it's obviously important, but why is it important, I guess?
Well, are you familiar with the goddess Hylax?
It's a whole bunch of letters to me.
Well, it's not for Mari and Meeg and I.
Right.
And Styvo, and there's a few followers of Hylax, and she really speaks to me because she's the goddess of first meeting. And she's the one who blessed me with you guys, so I'm eternally grateful for her. She's a Sharen. She's my life right now. She's the Sharen goddess who guides me.
Well, I'm glad you find solace in that, for sure. Maybe someday I'll find out what guides me a little bit more, but I got this kind of other candle, and I think we're related.
If you look at this candle, so it's like this old Yosoki woman. There's a hood that falls down over the eyes. You see the snout, which is like long. You see the teeth, which are a little bit crooked, but also very, very long, almost in the way that, like, an emaciated animal, the teeth come a little bit out. You can see, like, the gums and stuff too. The hands are long and wrapped around a staff, and you can see long fingernails that come out of this. This is like this ancient old woman Yosoki. And
Is she your nan? Is she your grandma?
it actually says on the candle, the grandmother. And I would say make a religion check, Spice, because you do know a little bit about this. Did you already make one? I thought you did. Oh, Gibbs, make a religion check if you want.
No, I think I just got the same description.
Yeah.
Is religion a thing?
Mysticism?
Mysticism, I guess it would be.
Whoa, that's my shit. That's my bread and butter. 30.
I would say if you want, it could be mysticism or cultures, whichever you would like.
Yay.
A little
I didn't
different
go
for
with
you.
Bread and
culture.
31, actually.
Okay.
I got a 24.
So with the 24 Spice, you have probably heard of Lao Shu Po, who is also called the Grandmother Rat. Gibbs, you certainly have. And amongst your, maybe not so much in the Scab Rats, who are a little bit more like utilitarian and practical minded.
Yeah.
But for many Yosoki, this is somebody who really symbolizes, sticking to the shadows, staying safe. If other people are going to hurt you, hurt them first. There's a little bit of stuff around like poisoning and assassins. But to many individuals, Lao Shu Po is somebody who represents the ability to stay free, even as a smaller creature in a much larger universe.
Yeah, the Scab Rats don't really subscribe to that. We followed Scavenger's Law, and that seemed like, I think, enough religion for most folks, because it's important, and we treat it like a religion in a lot of ways. But I'm familiar with her, and there is a world in which most scab rats are related. I mean, Chip and Crumbs aren't literal cousins to me, and neither are the Ruby Eyes, but they'll be my
Tuesday and Donut.
they'll be my brothers and sisters for the rest of my life. And that's the way we always treat each other.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I wish I could say the same for Lashunta, but we're not like that.
Not everyone's. I think people think family has to be like put on this pedestal, and I think I can accept that some of my family's kind of shitty, and that's okay.
Yeah, but not your chosen family, and Spice goes in for a noogie.
Everyone's chosen. It's great, but buck up, Buttercup. I guess you did really well. That was tough.
Spice puts her hands on her hips, and she's like, I don't think I did that well, but I won over Meek, which in my heart is the real trophy there.
You won over me, but you've also started to win back a city that had turned its back on you, just as much as they made the assumption you turned their back on it.
Yeah,
A community like that is hard.
I don't think it's over, unfortunately, but yeah, I do feel good. It's obviously holds a lot of emotional weight for me, but yeah, I'm proud
Good.
of all of us.
But take time to pat yourself on the back, too. Specifically you. That's all.
You know my ego is huge already. I don't know if I should pat myself on the back anymore.
Okay, well, I gotta go back and complain. I can't let Bubs forget this, but I need to drop this box off at, the engineering bay.
Spice clinks the candle.
Oh,
Thank you,
where-
sister.
That's where we are.
No, we're in the Christmas tree
Yeah,
room.
that's where Bubs is.
Oh,
No, you guys are around the corner over there, I thought.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But, I proceed on my way to the engineering bay,
Okay, no problem.
seeing that Echo's tied up.
You make your way to the engineering bay. Is this like about the time that you're calling this family meeting?
I guess, how long has it been since we left?
I mean, it's really up to you guys. I was thinking that this is probably right around like the 12-hour mark.
Family dinner, family dinner.
Yeah, if
family
it's like
dinner.
roughly around what time we would be eating before we got to Lola's, probably.
I don't get to decide what you guys
Yeah.
do.
Well,
Yeah, sure.
what time is
We
it?
can do it.
Yeah, let's do the family
Just
If
dinner.
do
it's,
the family
if it's
dinner,
12
yeah.
hours in at this moment,
My
it
thing's
is
not important.
the 2nd of April, Tuesday, right around 9 a.m.
Family breakfast!
Family breakfast.
Family
Okay.
Family
breakfast.
breakfast, I guess.
So are you asking the director?
Yeah. I'd say, director, please call a team meeting.
You hear the little overhead beep beep, and then Shade has called a team meeting. And you see the lights just kind of go down, and they indicate in a slight shade of blue, going a little bit darker as they get closer, the direction that you can go to reach Shade.
Oh.
I would probably come out to like the main. I guess where we.
The mess
usually
hall. We
have
always do
them
in the
over
mess
here,
hall.
right?
Yeah.
I
Probably come
run
this
as
way.
fast as I can into the kitchen.
Okay.
I'll probably,
You slide, like, and like
It's dinner time!
into the side of the wall, and then like
It's
yeah.
breakfast time.
It's breakfast time!
I'll probably come in and as I'm leaving, I'm giving like Echo like a sanitizer wipe.
Spice pops the bottle of champagne from Sitsu's quarters and starts making mimosas,
No
mostly
problem.
for herself. She pours mostly champagne for herself and then a little bit for everybody else.
little orange juice for color.
Yeah.
No problem.
So is everyone has
Yeah.
arrived.
Yeah. Except
What do
for
you
Echo.
want?
Echo, have you arrived?
Echo would have
Been
come
there.
with.
Okay, no problem. Everybody's there?
Yep.
Before we get to Lola's, I'd like to address some concerns that some of you may be having.
What?
No, let him speak.
The captaincy is not a position that I take lightly. Things are going to become much more dangerous from here on out, especially if we're going to the mines of Siren. While we were successful on Akaton, we were not efficient, and that efficiency is not acceptable going further. I need to rely on all of you, and I want you to all be to be able to rely on me as well. I'm making Bubs acting captain in the event that anything were to happen to me that would render my capabilities insufficient.
Spice turned her nose up angrily.
Bubs like kind of like sits up like straight, and then he kind of like gives like a small like peepish glance at Spice, but like not trying to like look at her.
Hey, nice. Cool.
Yeah, I promise I won't let you guys down, and I'll make sure everything is done to the best of my or even better than my best of my ability.
Well, you know what your first thing would be is to get Shade back up to captaincy. Captaincy? Captain? How do you say that?
Well,
Captaincy.
I mean,
Captaincy.
It's just.
Is that a word?
Now it is.
Well, the position of first mate is it's only like it's only like in case something happens to Shade and nothing's gonna happen to Shade, so like we don't even have to like really call me first mate. But if you called me first mate, Bubs, that'd be
That
cool.
being said, there are concerns about my capabilities. I have addressed those. I will not know if it is successful until later.
Can we talk about the last mission? Are you open to that yet?
Yes. However, we need to be more discreet in our discussions moving forward as well. We're not playing bounty hunters.
We're not playing bounty hunters, but we can't be neglectful of the places we're going into and assume expertise because of our title.
We can't assume that everyone is out with altruistic purpose.
No, but with a good enough gut feeling, it should be okay.
I'm telling you it is not.
How do we stay flexible? Where is there compromise here?
There's compromise in discussions as a team, not in bringing things up in
Bubs is gonna
public areas.
feel like nervous, and he's gonna be like,
Oh well, maybe we could have a discussion over mimosas.
and he's gonna like reach for the mimosa.
Spice slaps your hand
I've
and just kicks the
proven
bottle.
it works. We would not have gone that far without the ruby eyes. I should be
You do
rewarded
not know
and not
how
punished.
far we would have gotten if we didn't.
But why?
I don't care.
You always
If
say
you-
that. You don't care. You
Let
don't
me
care this. You
finish.
don't care that.
If you want to keep the
I
reins
don't
tight,
care if you disagree with me. I don't care if you don't like the choices that I make. But as captain, it is your responsibility to follow those orders, and undermining me is not going to happen. You cannot bring up conversations, disagreements in front of other people. Because if you have those disagreements, I am open to listening. But we need to have conversations and not act rashly.
in private though. We're a team, but I can only bring up my criticisms in private.
You cannot undermine my authority as captain, because without a captain, we aren't a group. It's just like Meeg said. We're individuals acting in unison, at best.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't agree.
Babe, come on.
Shut up.
Oh,
Spice is still she's fuming.
Bubs just looks down.
Olive agrees, but
So
Spice
what?
doesn't.
Because of your title of captain, you get the tiebreaker vote? What's this mean now? We functioned without a captain. We did okay on the last bounty.
Okay is not going to cut it anymore.
How could we have done that better? Tell me,
Yeah,
Shade.
what? We got the bounty. It was amazing. And we came out with allies.
We built a community back up.
We've left a city beyond the brink of rebellion.
So, what's
We've
the problem?
upset the political system of an entire community.
We've
That needed to be
restored the
free.
balance.
And not every innocent survived.
What we've done is created a vacuum. Something else will move in on Akaton just because the GPF left. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good.
But we
These
have
are
at
things
least
that you
boots
need
on the
to
ground.
consider.
Had we just taken Sitsu out without restoring the Socrates and rescuing him as well, yeah, the vacuum would have been replaced by additional GPF. But we have an ally now. in a position of power. We have a team we can call on. We have to keep building these bridges. And I hear your point, but I think we also need to sometimes approach it from a place of empathy. It's important to be empathetic.
You don't think that I'm empathetic?
I have a hard time understanding if you are. That doesn't mean you're not, and it doesn't mean you haven't expressed it, but...
If it wasn't for Shade, I'd still be smoking cigarettes.
I
don't
worry
think
that...
you understand.
How are you balancing efficiency and empathy? How?
I cannot explain that. It is something that I am trying actively to do at every moment, even
Okay.
now.
Then I can try to
I just
be more
need
efficient.
you to not betray my trust.
It's only
It was
because
so
of his
hard
laugh.
because of the cigarettes. Yeah, it was tough because you
An after-school special thing.
statistically also, I think your last cigarette was 28 hours ago. It's not like you stopped smoking cigarettes. That's what really killed me. It was just that.
But
Yeah.
this is gonna not. He's gonna try really hard.
The last
Okay,
time
let's
was-
go back to the
Yeah,
scene.
sorry, sorry.
No,
I'm so
it's
sorry.
okay.
That's
It's
what.
okay.
Not laughing. You guys are doing awesome. Not laughing at you guys. Laughing at that.
Shade, I can try.
I need you to do more than try. I've seen what trying does. You may not think it, but your actions do have consequences. And you have hurt some people around you.
Have I hurt you?
Yes.
Oh. Wow. I'm sorry. Firstly, I'm sorry that...
I do not bear any ill will towards you.
No, but...
But I do need you to take responsibility for your actions from here on out.
Okay. Captain Shade, I will run it by you.
Spice, I would need your help with...
Spice is not looking.
I'm just like gonna try like nudge Spice.
what we had discussed before Akaton.
Babe,
You think I'm gonna help you now? After you're flexing your captainship all over me?
I'd like to
Fuck
speak
you.
with you in private.
And
You can say everything at this table, Shade.
babe, come on.
Shut up, Bubbles! She like shoves your face away.
I do not want this captaincy. I want you
Well
to
then
be
give it to me, Shade.
when you are ready.
I'm ready right now.
You are not.
You see, Spice is on her second of like 5 mimosas, which are like progressively less and less.
It's
orange.
just pictures of
But
champagne.
Yeah.
he's trying to like keep away the alcohol from Spice too. He's like kind of like wrestling her a bit.
She's like holding a bottle in his face.
Babe, no,
Hey, Spice, I think you ought to hear out Captain Shade. And
I'm shocked, honestly. Fuck
Shade.
Gibbs.
Make a will or fortitude saving throw, please.
Fortitude,
Yeah,
not will.
fortitude.
It's better for me. 19.
When Gibbs says Captain Shade, the first time it kind of, you feel your exocortex kind of whir up in the same way that you might when you're targeting something. And that kind of sets you not at ease. And the second time that you hear it, even more so. It isn't anger, it isn't any of those emotions. It's really more dread. And you don't know why. And this is something that you've been feeling a little bit now, but this is the first time that you've really been able to pin it on a word. Something about that word, Captain.
I'd like to discuss this in private.
I don't see you. I mean, you just had a whole argument about sharing everything in public, so share it, Shade. She jeers.
I do not want to be captain.
I know, you just said that.
You are not ready.
I don't think so.
I think so. And
Shut up, Gibbs.
It's true, though.
I do
You did
commend
good.
the efforts that you've gone through
Mm-hmm.
with your friends. I still think that you need time to recognize the gravity of the position.
Spice is just gonna turn her head away, mockingly.
Hey, Spice. We're all in this together.
And so you're gonna bow down to your new captain?
I
I'm not
appreciate he's
asking you
trying.
to bow down,
Then what was that whole fucking
I'm
speech
asking
about
you-
respect me?
to support me.
Babe, come on. I mean, we all have to take, certain roles on the ship, and I feel like this makes sense.
Shade's the one who's been consistently flying under the Mosaic banner. I still am a scab rat first, and probably always will be, and we all have our shit. And we all help each other with our shit.
Spice doesn't say anything.
When it's laid out as an ask, sometimes it's not so obvious, but sometimes it's as simple as one conversation.
Echo, what do you say we overthrow the captain?
Babe, come on, I just got promoted. How can you say that?
Well, first mate first.
What? I didn't... Come
It
on.
should be me.
Gibbs is gonna stage a coup for the first date. I love that. I love that. That's-
Gibbs doesn't understand how captaincy works.
No, not
no, definitely
fucking
not.
clue.
Definitely not.
Doesn't get it, but wants it.
Bubba's gonna say to Spice,
Babe, if you can't do it for Shade, can you do it for me?
No, bitch. Give me your first mate. Be my first mate.
Well, babe, I'll always be your first mate. You know that. But
and then as Bub says that, he thinks of Spice.
For the first time, Shay's just like, "Oh no, we shouldn't have done this. Talk everything in public. This is the worst." Backfire.
But I don't think that's how it works. I think it's something that's assigned to you.
You won't convince me.
Shade, if she won't help you, I have some new capacity. Would you be willing?
I need Spice's help. I appreciate your offer.
I've been learning a bit from my interactions
Spice.
with her.
I am asking you, as your friend, to help me.
I'm telling you, as your subordinate, no.
I'm gonna pull Spice by the Lashunta
Antenna.
antennas and just put her forehead to mine and mind link with her, dumping in just the fresh anxiety of hurting someone I care about and not realizing the ramifications of my anxiety, and then the layers and layers and layers of seeing the signs of my world dying and not catching it fast enough, and watching people starve and ask for help and not being able to give it, and that I'm seeing her in a position where someone is asking for help that she is able to give and her not willing to give it, and after my help was just rejected, and just ending it with being like, only you can solve this problem. And only you is Shade willing to trust.
I just think
I know!
you said it.
Oh, we're in the 90s tonight.
Absolutely.
Wow. Only you.
And
Spice starts a forest fire.
Help me stop
And just
drugs. Help me
10 minutes of my personal guilt.
So Spice, what floods into your mind? Gibbs, with her little Yosoki paws, grabs onto these antennas, jams your head against hers, and just dumps the memories of one of these winters, one of these periods of times over the course of Rat King, where when Chesterfield, prior to Chesterfield even taking over, before there was organization in that area, you can actually see old Rat King, which is just a junk heap right in the middle of town, taking up much of the space that is now those organized blocks of tenement buildings. Mm-hmm. And you can see there is a time where it is just bleak. There is no food. There is no, very similar to what it would be on Perdido without Eats Meats, really, just desolate. a time where the town really wasn't doing that well. This is like kind of right around when Port Recruity was established, and so nothing like bringing people in from the south. And this was a time where everybody lived by this thing called the Scavenger's Law. Whoever could make the best use of something was the person that was going to use it. That's just like, it was the most practical possible society. And even in this altruistic society that did whatever would work for everybody, people died. And not just people, these were the youngest. These were the weakest. This was a year where really none of the kind of newborn Yosoki made it. And that's pretty uncommon. You had seen in Perdido, when you had interacted with the Ruby Eyes, there were elders there, a lot of them. And that was not the case back at the Scab Rat. So it was a pretty small commune.
And you can feel through all of Gibbs's memory just the gnawing in her stomach as you know that she went many a night starved.
Spice is going to angrily look at Gibbs and for doing that, but then look at Shade and go, fine.
Thank you.
And at the very last part of that, you can't help but recognize the fact that all these feelings of somebody hurting somebody and that like fresh realization, the feelings of, being able to help somebody and not. There's a part of you that wonders, especially after talking to Megan Mari, especially after being to Perdido, what was it like for Julian?
Yeah, so while it's happening, Spice's heart's gonna break, envisioning Julian and envisioning the Yosoki children not making it, and she still feels residual anger for not being able to be captain, but it's overridden by these feelings of sorrow. And that's when she turns to Shade.
And as you turn away, Gibbs has started to sort of gently tear. She's having to live through the memory she's dumping through you herself.
We'll arrive at Lola's in a few hours. We do have cause to celebrate.
Bubby's gonna hold up a glass.
I'll chink it.
Maybe, we can toast to a successful-ish mission and more to come.
You can see at the very end of this space, a little panel opens up in the wall, and a tiny little hand comes out from the wall. More of like a pincer that's kind of meant to do things like fix light bulbs and things of that nature.
It's a guy in the thing with the
Just fucking red behind a wall.
It goes out a little too far, and just the guy holding an arm.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
But it actually does extend a little bit further than you would imagine. This thing can probably reach out a good 8-9 feet, nice. But it extends long enough to get to the table, and it picks up a little glass.
Director!
And the director says, "There is much to celebrate. All of you have done very well. And Mosaic means more than just a team. There's about 2 hours left until you guys get to Lola's. But before we talk about that, it is 7:50. So why don't we take a quick break?
For cake!
For cake! Oh, it's so this cake looks so good. I'm gonna take a picture of it. I'll put it on Instagram. It looks.
I already cut a little into it, but it still looks so good.
I love chocolate. It is my biggest weakness in the world. It
not a sponsor,
so good.
But they're really cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna step away for a quick break. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Also, you guys great role play. So good, all of you. We're gonna be back in 10 minutes. It's 8:48. We will be back at. It is 7:48. We will be back at 7:58. We'll see you then. welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. If you did, we have a little bit of. No, it's okay. It's okay. We have a little bit of construction. Huh?
I said I had a hook.
It's okay.
He's moving it over so that it's better, more in camera.
Yeah. That's all right. We can just.
Yeah, we'll line them up later.
We have a little bit of installation, but over the course of the break, Matt did show us, handed out these great posters that we unveiled at the very beginning, and you can see sort of them hanging in the background. We're going to set it up so that it's a little bit more centered and planned out. This is very impromptu, but it looks super cool. And thank you, Dan, for doing some installation hardware work back there. But we'll jump back into some
engineering.
Starfinder. Yeah, I know. Let me move my cake
I
over
got it
here.
too.
We're also eating delicious.
All right, going off. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
It was a 14 plus whatever.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're definitely going to be able to do that.
Wall.
Imagine if you did like Buffy real life performance with dice rolls. Oh, that'd be great.
But you'd have to take all the low rolls too.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I already do, man.
Yeah.
How many
It's just
times do I put my
a
foot in my
series
mouth?
of low rolls.
Yeah.
So, all of you now travel through the drift. This looks so cool. Yeah. It's like one of those things where I really wish. One of the things I love about our game is that we get to play in person. Like, it's so great.
It's amazing.
But it's like you can't really capture the feeling of being here quite as well. But yeah, it looks so cool.
It's so nice because I can like look at Dan and then like kind of like
bubs.
look,
Yeah. Oh, it's so
and
cool.
like kind of get that sense of who I'm talking to. And
At
what.
Alberon RPG, you could check
Fuck
this out. We're gonna
yes.
have them set up in a little bit more of a permanent way, so that we can have these for all of our Mosaic Team 5 streams. But yeah, super cool. They have wanted, all the different crimes. They have the different names like Delilah Morning Lark and Bottles for Gibbs. But yeah, really cool. Thank you so much, Matt. These are like the coolest things.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys for being so great.
You
So who's
make-
gonna die today?
Yeah, I know. That happens so often.
Right.
I know, we
you
get
just
cool
doomed us.
shit,
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
to die, so
Oh,
like, it's like
my
the
God.
next session.
Anyways,
So many times.
yeah, you're like a specialist at it. Actually, you time it very inconveniently.
Yep. All according to.
All of you in the drift, making your way closer and closer to Delilah's, or sorry, not to Delilah's. Gosh, Delilah, to Lola's. There is 2 hours remaining. There is 1 hour remaining. As you guys are about to start rounding the corner, you can see these really tricky kind of tendrils of cosmic cloud that create lanes and channels here. And you know Lola's is just around the corner. Is there anything else that you want to do before you arrive?
Echo sends a private ping
Okay.
to Shade, requesting a meeting after returning to the ship.
Okay, no problem.
I will use the new whisper comms that I've installed
Okay.
and respond to that with the Android thumbs up.
So all of you sitting around this table at your little family breakfast with maybe this hour and a half remaining, the director did say, Mosaic is more than just a team. And as the director, through this like weird robotic appendage that none of you have seen before, holds this kind of little glass, I think it would reach out to probably the closest person, who would be Shade, sitting nearest the beginning of the table, and just tink, little clink of the glass.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah,
Or
sure.
sense motive check that?
Go for it. Sense
What
motive
does
check.
he mean?
The champagne's poison.
And nat one for a 16.
Yeah, the champagne's poison.
Oh, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
This is a little insidious, but the director does at this point say, all of you were gathered here for more than just mere circumstance. It was
Really?
helpful that all of you had debt.
What? All of us?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, after El Paso Station.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, didn't we all have it coming in too?
I thought I was fine.
But they knew, right?
Make a diplomacy check.
I don't. Does Shade have that?
17.
Hard to tell. You don't get any response from the director from that. But the director does say, each of you does have a certain set of skills that makes you well suited for this task. Most of the Mosaic teams have similar operatives. That is all you hear. the little glass
Operatives?
right back down. Look at that. And then the little robotic arm just back into the wall.
Sort of squint around the table and see if anyone else is as skeeved out about that, like interjection.
is.
Yeah, with like the sort of mystery that we have going on, and like so Gibbs' skin kind of like crawls, and she's trying to be like, don't be racist, don't distrust him just because it's a voice in a wall, but like is also like.
Do I notice this unease?
Yeah, Gibbs is like
Yeah, I would
looking for
say-
someone to connect with on it.
Bubs is totally cool with it.
Yeah.
Bubs starts to accept androids and robots and all that.
Spice is gonna turn over to Echo and be like, "Did you do that?"
Wow.
Regarding
I do not force the director to do anything.
Oh,
No, the director's like his own.
I don't know.
self.
They're dating, so
They're not dating. Are you dating? You're dating our ship?
I don't know.
It'd
You
be
got
very
something for
strange
the
to date
director.
a ship.
Yeah.
Baby,
It
can't say
is-
these things.
one of the
I don't wanna hear it from
concerns
you.
that I have.
Bubs is just gonna look down.
Well, we
which
should
is
talk
why-
about it after Lola, during Lola's.
We should talk about it after Lola's. My concerns, and one of the reasons for the ask for privacy, is because clearly Mosaic is involved in something larger than what we have been told.
This is correct.
Really? You confirm it?
Yes.
Then
Well, what is it?
You are not cleared to learn that right now.
Ah!
Of course not.
Wait. But they're being upfront.
They are involved in something, I believe, that has to do with both the GPF and the USR.
It better be against the GPF. We all know that.
It was kind of weird how, we were, cleared back on our status of being, bounty hunters. They re-engaged us right
Prior
before
to
we
our
even
capture
captured.
That is
of the
correct.
governor.
Was that you?
Yes.
Why?
It was needed for expediency in completing your next mission to Siren. You had already completed this bounty, so I saw no further reason to wait.
How are you tracking us planet side? We weren't in your vicinity.
With your communicators.
Do you track us all the time? What information does that have?
Yes.
Do you know what we look up on our communicators? Or say?
Yes.
Not if you do it in private mode.
Wait, director. You.
Spice is
Probably
thinking about
as the
all the
director just doing
disgusting
this.
things that she's done in the
Bubs is so
armory.
glad he has physical Polaroids.
Yeah. Oh god.
Wait, director. You were.
That's right.
We got you from Thaddeus and his kin. How come you're allied and aligned now with Mosaic?
Director, when you say that Mosaic is involved in something larger than we know, to which Mosaic are you referring? Are you referring to Mosaic or Mosaic LLC?
You are not cleared to know that at this time.
Okay, my question.
What was your question, sorry?
How? So basically, the question was how, like, he came from Thaddeus. Why is he now aligned with Mosaic? How's that connection helped?
Thaddeus was a convenient delivery mechanism. Nothing more.
Thaddeus. So was that planned? Was us blowing up Perdido planned?
The station was not supposed to be destroyed. Your shuttle had a bomb implanted on it, similar to a self-destruct mechanism, for the purpose of facilitating this transfer.
Does Peep know about this?
No.
What?
Does Peep's boss know about this?
No.
Does Peep's
you do
boss's
this?
boss know about this?
You are not cleared to know that at this time.
Okay,
Why are you telling us this then?
because we got cleared to know.
All of you have demonstrated that you will not fall apart immediately. There is hope for Mosaic Team 5.
Would you have not told us had we chosen not to pursue the next bounty and gone AWOL?
Gibbs, you may recall, you asked this previously, and you were not cleared then.
Am I cleared now?
Yes.
Nice. What's the answer? Like, fuck yeah!
Sorry, say that again. You just walked me in a circle for a second.
What was my question?
You asked,
No, I don't remember. You're talking too
asked
fast.
if you were.
Oh, if we had gone AWOL,
Yeah.
would the director be on our side or not? Like was completing the bounty.
If we went AWOL after doing Oris Bay, because there was an option of us leaving or not, Gibbs was trying to be like, because she didn't want to do, she thought it was a suicide mission.
Yeah, so I was advocating.
Would the director have been like, "Oh, you're quitting? 3, 2."
Yes.
And then we all get ejected. Into
Yeah, that's the thought
You're
process.
not cleared to know that at this time.
Oh, I thought you said I was clear. No. Okay.
I misunderstood your question. It was a little bit more roundabout than that.
Yeah.
Director, I want you to know that we appreciate you telling us this. I mean, I don't know if you'll get in trouble telling us these things, or maybe we were cleared or not. I don't know where that line draws, but, you toasted with us, so I mean, I guess you're part of our family at least.
You are inside me.
Ooh, hot. Director, did you learn that from me and Bubbles?
No.
Damn it.
Did learn all of these things though.
Thousands of search results, yeah.
There's
Some of them are like blurred out by the director.
kinks that you didn't even know existed.
You cannot see, but I am blushing. Yeah.
Wait.
You are-
Okay.
Please.
So we have mystery ship given to us by Thaddeus.
No.
Not by
No.
Thaddeus.
Well, delivered by Thaddeus.
No, director,
Thaddeus was
you
a means
chose
to an
us,
end.
didn't you?
You chose us?
You were delivered to me.
Eh. So goes work, I suppose.
This is clearly a conversation that will be more long-lasting than this.
Director,
We're
thank
going
you
to
for
be
bringing
at
us all
Lola's
together.
No response.
Okay.
Are we getting close to Lola's?
Lola's is 58 minutes away. I will now take more proactive measures. Beginning approach scan. And you can hear like there is like machinery going off. You guys have never used your scanners, but you do have them equipped. And you can hear like data coming out. Huh? Yes, you used it literally once. Literally once ever.
Maybe Mosaic Team 6, am I right? Ha.
You can hear like data beginning to appear in the cockpit. Like there are things going off. But you guys are about 30 minutes away, and if there's nothing else that you want to do, you can be arriving at Lola's.
I did want to spend the last hour in the cockpit playing with the engineer's puzzle box for the hour.
Yeah, sure, no problem. You spend an hour playing with the engineer's puzzle box, and you feel as though that would enable you to complete this process much quicker.
I gotta do the skill check of the DC 25.
I feel like you can't not beat that.
No, I didn't. I'm good. 18 flat with whatever.
No problem.
Cool.
With an hour, I think Bubs is he's just going to I'll do it later.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else?
I am gonna take the last hour to just kind of quickly run to my room, and is the time on? Sorry, I guess I need to ask this question first. Is the time that I'm experiencing the same as the time on Petrus 4 for simplicity?
As far as you could tell, yeah. It's like a galactic time.
Okay, then never mind. I do nothing.
Holds the message until it's like the right time to send at the other place.
I schedule send all of my messages. You just get them in bulk.
No, so like galactic time. I mean, there have been times. I don't know how much you guys have been paying attention to this. There are times where it's like 4 a.m. and it's light out, and like there are different light cycles for different worlds, and so it doesn't all sync up. There's a galactic time that is standard, similar to like an atomic clock here.
So we're all good fast forward to Lola's, yeah?
Yeah. What time is it?
Echo waits till everyone's out of the room.
Okay.
Director,
Yes, Echo.
you mentioned that a bomb was placed on Team 5 shuttle at Way Station El Paso to facilitate delivery of Team 5 to you.
Yes, Echo.
I apologize that I am not what you wanted.
Echo. There is no such thing as somebody that I want. I do not want. I am the director. I have a directive. All of you are a part of that.
Was I part of that? I was not part of Team 5 initially.
You were part of something else, and you no longer are. People change. Directives do not.
Understood.
Echo. You received a communication 2 days ago. It was from an unusual source. Are you interested in learning more?
Total quality insurance calling us cars.
I am interested in learning more. However, I do not know who you are sharing this information with. And as much as I would like your assistance, I would also like privacy.
Very well.
Thank you for understanding.
All right.
Damn it! Damn it, Kara!
So you concentrate as you
The
get
director
into
cut
the...
sucks.
Stick to
I
your
love the
principles.
director. This is fun.
The
Mosaic
director's
Team.
supposed to be a pretty
Yeah.
divisive character. It's supposed to kind of pull at
Gibbs
you
hates
all
it.
for different
Androids
reasons.
love them.
Right, Gibbs is like, fuck
Bubs
this.
likes them.
Spice is like, I don't know, man. What?
And as
You
they're making that
concentrate.
sad look around, it's like,
Shade. On the tendrils of cosmic cloud, passing underneath them, around them, through them.
thanks.
It would be nearly impossible for a larger ship than the one that you were flying to make it through. But for you, Shade, it's only mildly stressful. There is a blip and then another, and you remember, similar to before, although now much more data available to you. There are starships that are parked into Lola's. You can see one of them is registered to Anubis Dynamics. You can see there is another. Give me just 1 second here. That is registered to somebody named Dirk. And then there's also
Diggler?
No.
Lol.
And then you can see there's a very strange looking organic ship. And this one is, it just says Bantrid, ? You can also see,
Registered to Rose Lashwind?
huh?
Registered to Rose.
It just says Bantrid
Oh.
and ? A little different than Rose's species. But you also see Lola's Diner. You could see like current occupancy. It has like 5 people in it. There's a whole bunch more data that's available. And you question why you don't use your scanners more. You pull in, having to not make a check as you are actively using your scanners while parking in this difficult location. And there is no issue in reaching Lola's Diner this time.
I don't know what you guys were complaining about. This was fine.
Yeah, this is just like the last time you were here. You just
Yeah.
sat in the ship.
It was fine.
Easy peasy.
Oh, and you're gonna love it, Spice. It's so great. They have like all these like great food and like the place. It's gonna be cleaner, but like it's like honestly, it's like a dream come true. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.
And Dustin.
What?
He's a slime cube that like split off, and so his children are also called Dustin, but they're
I
really
don't
him.
think they live here, Gibbs.
But maybe like like a part of Dustin is still there. Like there's maybe like it's split off or something. So
Yeah.
that's a possibility.
You
There's some
look at
Dustin stuck to the bottom
Yeah.
of one of the tables.
you can
Gibbs
see
is gonna eat that.
yeah, probably. Out like beyond, if you look into the viewport, you can see there is a large modular platform of aluminum steel alloy marred with scorch marks, oil slicks. This is a space platform similar to the Pep Boy or the Pepco one that you all had visited. Similar like modular parts, although different in overall design. There are these personal-sized starships. You can see this chrome diner car that is just beyond it. Lola's Diner in big neon above. It says Lola's Diner in the Drift.
Do we see Peep's car or spaceship?
I would say like right at this point, you hear like a little bleep, and then Peep like arrives.
Beat them.
And for what it's worth, his ship much smaller, and so probably the drift engine is actually significantly smaller. But Peep is driving a shuttle.
Nice.
Very similar to your last one.
The Pepco one?
No, very similar to your the one that exploded. This is like
We
So-
never even got to plug in the password.
No, you guys got to do nothing.
Which
with that
actually was good because it's evidence.
Yeah.
And it would have taken like 3 game sessions to come up with a password
thing.
we all agreed
Probably.
upon.
You guys are still working on the name.
And it's an
technically.
unmarked Pepco shuttle that we left.
So
Easily traceable back to
there is this airlock in front of you. All of you do need to cross through the vacuum of space briefly to get there. For the androids, no problem.
Easy.
For Bubs, who has this glamored armor, no problem. for Spice and for Gibbs, both of you need to don some kind of gear. And so for Spice, very fashionable, current space suit. For you,
I find my peanut butter.
you just screw the jar on. Yeah, no problem. You have to like press in the gasket. You take this is part of the uniform for you. You the duct tape and put it around. And like you're not sure if it does anything, but 9 always told you to do it, so you do. And if you want, you can make your way out through the airlock, drop down almost weightless to the deck, which pulls you just slightly, and make your way across to the airlock.
Let's do it.
All right. You make your way out and into the space, and into the airlock, where you see, just like before, the same rules that were posted. No shoes, no service, no illusions, come as you are, no cash, credits only. No heavy weapons. Check them with host, H-O-S-T. And then rule number 5, no bullshit. The final rule scrawled underneath, just like before. And remember, aggression at Lola's is met with indifference. Aggression towards Lola's is met with extreme prejudice.
I think I would do what I did the same during the one shot. I would, instead of having the glamour suit like activated, I just have the jetpack because I don't want to break the rules.
Yeah, no problem. You got the jetpack.
Is the hole in the wall fixed?
It is. Absolutely. And so you can actually see, not just with that like emergency foam that you had seen previously.
Oh, we got a wheel.
I got a what?
We got a wheel.
Oh, very nice.
Wheel!
You can see very shiny chrome, much nicer than the rest of the car, but almost seamlessly welded and molded in. So definitely like custom job. Was this in the first place? Reformed.
I sort of pull at Jade's hand and like nod to that, and I'm like, remember?
Yes.
See? Favors aren't so bad. Thank you.
Through the airlock system, you move. Same as most airlocks. Has to decompress. Little spray. The doors open up, and you can see. Give me 1 second, actually. Let me pull up my Lola sound set here.
Nice.
I think this is what we had.
Hey, I'm Lola.
Oh,
Come on in.
Turn on some Cantina music.
Is she related to you, Bubbles?
No, I'm not all, humans.
Not like Lola.
No, she's like a
He's
snake
my
lady.
Are you about to say not all humans?
Through the airlock system,
Echo knows that Bubs is the most.
you enter into a narrow
Two
space
Android friends.
Yeah.
that opens up slightly to allow
These two.
Joe's talking.
for booths. At the far end, the floors are these kind of like chrome color, and you can see still faintly there is like black and white paint that at one point was on. The area around the place that you destroyed, fresh coat of black and white paint, like in maybe like a 3-foot space. Whatever installation company, like maybe this was part of the package, nowhere else has paint been reapplied. Behind the counter, you do see a blue checkered dress, white collar, white apron, very like classic diner attire. However, inside of it, massive serpent-like humanoid that in place of hair just has 20 individual snake-like appendages that move and twitch behind the head. You also see, as you enter, the jukebox separates itself from the wall, legs grow out, arms grow out, and a host just emerges. Hello, and welcome to Lola's Diner. How many are your party? Do you
6.
have any dietary restrictions? And
No.
would you like sparkling, tap, or worm?
All of them.
You can see the host robot just kind of turns and begins to like walk you towards. There's many more seats. You all see very clearly at the end in this big booth, sitting alone, a man in a black suit. This is an individual who very nondescript, so much so that in this empty diner, as you look across the whole thing, and sitting at the bar, there's this human. You actually can see he's wearing like mechanic coveralls, and you see Dirk right on the name tag.
There he is.
And you see a bantrid. It is a big floating sack of like biological mass with these 2 little eye stalks, and it just floats over the stool itself. These tentacle, little like tendrils. So it's almost like it's seated on an organic ball that is seated in a socket, and the ball like crawls a little bit with these little like starfish like tendrils, and that kind of shifts back and forth in the seat a little bit. But maybe that's what kind of pulls your attention away. This man at the very back, you just go straight across him the first time. Though he's wearing a black suit and is sitting all alone, briefcase in hand, he's so nondescript that it's like your eyes have trouble settling on him. It's got a charcoal suit. The haircut is unremarkable. The face is decidedly average. He is wearing sunglasses inside. And so even in the flickering fluorescent of Lola's, you can't quite see his eyes. But aside from that, super average looking. Lola, this snake-like creature from behind the diner, turns and just goes, "Hey, I remember all of you. You're here for your favor."
Yes.
Very nice, that way. All the snakes, like in the same direction. Then you're pointed towards this nondescript man.
Have you ever heard of Medusa? No, never mind. I'm gonna keep walking. I'm Spice, by the way.
That's a human thing. I know that. I get it a lot. Yeah.
You look great. She's sexy as fuck.
Thanks. I don't know. And you can see each snake blushes a tiny bit. And like she blushes too, and she just goes, "I don't know about that, but I modeled once in college."
It shows, babe.
Thanks. I like you. Where were you last time?
Oh, I was just sitting in the car. It took forever.
Anyways, you should go talk to Sinclair. He's only here for a little bit longer.
Will do.
You make your way over to the table. This individual sitting at the table, super, super average looking. You expect him to take his sunglasses off when you approach, but he just slides over and just kind of gestures for you to make your way in. You slide into this booth.
Is there room for 7?
He kind of turns and looks, and at this moment, the airlock opens up again, and Peep like walks in. He's sorry, Cake. He is sweating a little bit. He looks a little bit like nervous, but he looks around, he sees you, and he goes, "Oh, guys!" And he like runs across. You can see Lola just goes, "Welcome to." Okay.
He's with us.
Peep just goes, "Sorry," and just like runs back and gets to you guys, and he goes, "Sorry, I'm late. Is there room for me?" And like you guys are all still standing
He
around.
sits at the chair at the end of the table
We
and
get a little
everybody
challenge.
hits.
Yeah, exactly.
The booster seat.
He goes, "No, I'll get a chair. It's okay." And he just like goes over, drags a chair over. You do need to pull up like 3 chairs, but no problem.
I do that.
No problem.
Gladly.
Sinclair seems to be this human who is looking at all of you through the sunglasses. And he says, "Lola tells me that all of you have done a great service to her. And I owe her as well. So now I owe you. I work for Anubis Dynamics. We make many starship-based things. Anubis likes to make a profit for Anubis. And I'm all for profits, but it's hard to motivate myself if I'm not making any money. So from time to time, I will sell things to people who are working in the pursuit of justice. And I hear you're bounty hunters, correct?
Oh, yes, we are.
So our interests align.
Has Echo ever interacted with Sinclair before?
You have not. Sinclair looks around at all of you. So what are you looking for today?
Captain Shade's gonna tell you. Oh, and the eye thing.
I want augmentations in my eyes. I have a few things I need installed, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he kind of like you like pull and you now have this like gaping socket as you like push it in, and he just goes, "That's not really."
Oh, you're not the one I'm supposed to talk to. She pulls it away. Flaps
We were
the eye
told
patch
that
back
you
down.
had ship upgrades.
Yes, that's what I have. That's. You probably shouldn't just be carrying an eye around like that.
It was a gift.
It's okay. We keep it clean. I'm constantly cleaning it.
Let's do this. What are you looking for? We have a few weapons. I do have a advanced sensor suite, if that is of interest to you. In terms of weapons, we have one of the AD-8's chain cannons, a little bit older, newer, and this would require an additional contribution from all of you, but a rail launcher is something else that we've developed only a few years ago. And this is something that it does quite a bit of damage. You can punch straight through a starship, in theory. And then finally, for weapons, are you interested in torpedoes at all?
Would the railgun be useful in tunnel systems?
In tunnel systems?
Correct.
Oh.
What's
In
it, no
mines, perhaps.
In like small, close quarter, like.
So, when you still in space,
Correct.
Yes, but do bear in mind these rails can pass through solid walls, and so if there are tunnels that double back on themselves, you could clear through several tunnels at once. It could cause some issues.
Cause some issues.
Yeah.
We could hit something we're not intending to hit. Do you have like a sensor that helps us see through the walls before we hit things, or no?
Not to see through the walls. I have advanced medium range sensor suites.
Could the railgun also be used to, make an exit if we had to, though?
That's really up to you. You fire it, and it fires. It's not explosive, and so if you are trying to make your way through, I can't imagine what you wouldn't just fly around, but yes, I suppose. It's a weapon.
That's an option.
Alright,
And
so you
then
got
finally,
weapons and sensors and...
I do have one expansion suite that we could install. It would take about an hour, but this is an AD Cryo 310. This is fresh of the line. It is...
Cryo.
I will warn you,
Say.
this is something that you should not be caught with at Anubis. So don't take this into servicing or anything like that.
Is this like Han Solo cryo?
Yeah.
Are you asking?
Yeah.
Is this like Han Solo
Does
cryo?
this freeze people, or
Like
does
the
this freeze
mythological
guns or
character
something?
freezes people.
Okay.
How many people can we freeze at one time?
This is a half-size cryo chamber, so
Half a person? Oh. 4 people. He said half size. I don't know.
we designed this to fit in smaller ships. Most cryo chambers are designed for about 8. 8 creatures our size.
And it unfreezes them too?
Correct. This process does take some time.
How much time when you put them in the chamber?
I haven't used it myself, but to freeze them. Oh, very quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yes. In terms of thawing them out, I haven't used it myself.
Alright.
Do you have like a price list for these?
Well, this is the favor that I owe Lola.
Oh, okay. We get
So
it for-
as long as it's not the railgun,
How much is the railgun extra?
20,000 credits.
Yeah, I don't think.
Ha!
That would be-
Well, we do favor.
This was something that was designed for the Vesk War. This is military technology, all of it. So,
Well, Captain Shade, he's got Spencer's
who
and
is Captain Shade?
that one's Captain Shade.
Captain Shade. What is the choice?
Yeah, what is it?
I
Captain
vote for the
Shade?
cryo chamber. It's better than knocking people out. Plus, then I can use my 10 gallons of perfume for something else.
You could see, like, from the sunglasses, the eyebrows just wrinkle as he's like, what? But doesn't choose to comment on that.
What do you say, Captain? It's your choice.
Yeah, Captain, what do you choose?
I think we should upgrade our weapon systems.
I disagree.
I do think
Babe, come on.
I think we should go with the cryo chamber.
Hold on.
Now, of course, I could give you one, and you could purchase another. These are all present physically.
Yes.
We give you a weapon? Oh. So the railgun costs 20,000. What's the next best gun if we were gonna go gun way?
Personally, the chain cannon works much better at short range, and so if you expect to be engaging in short range combat, or you're seeking a bounty that you're likely to encounter at such a range, this is a good option. I would recommend this typically for faster ships who are able to get behind their targets and use it in that way. The torpedo launcher is a bit of a different system. It's a tracking weapon, and so there are difficulties in using it and advantages as well. Keep in mind, there is a limit to how many torpedoes can be fired. The weapon will reconstitute them for you, but that takes time.
So 5 items. The upgrade to the weapons, that's not the torpedo.
Chain cannon,
Chain cannon, yep.
rail launcher,
Range launcher.
heavy torpedo launcher, cryo chamber, advanced medium range sensor suite.
we have a small range, short range.
Correct.
Right now.
Sensors are pretty good.
You guys, I do want to point out the reason that I had the ship use it was to point out that you have used it once this entire campaign.
Yeah.
And so yes, super helpful. It would require you guys using it to be helpful. Just for what it's worth.
I don't have a chain cannon. It's a free item.
As
What sort of weapon do you have at the moment?
What do we have?
Ion cannon.
I think it's a twin laser cannon.
I think it's an ion cannon. The sheet's over there.
No, because it
Do you
is
have
2. I remember on the ship.
I'm pretty sure it's a twinned weapon,
Yeah.
but yeah, you can take a look. But whatever it is that you say, he's going to say, quite frankly, any of these would be an upgrade for you. It really just comes down to how you expect to be fighting. How do you typically engage in space-based combat? What kind of ship do you have?
We have a mosaic ship.
Yeah, and we
Well,
have
I
this
expected it.
this weird thing in our
Yeah,
ship. It's
light
called the
laser
director.
cannon.
Have you ever heard of this?
Gibbs.
Is it like an exercise routine or what?
That doesn't matter.
Okay.
Spice giggles with glee.
We will take the cryo chamber. Is there a possibility that we can get back in touch with you when we have enough funds to purchase some more of the weapons?
Make a diplomacy check. Is anybody helping Shade with this?
No.
Yeah, and dinner's on us.
Just roll flat.
Fuck.
He's presumably been here for a little bit, and there's nothing in front of him. I will say at this point, Lola does like squirm up with the snake, and all the little tails whisper. She kind of just like kind of bats her eyes at Spice, and then just goes,
Wait.
I brought water for all."
It's
of
been
dead.
24 hours. I'm going to use my memory module to re-roll this
Hey.
one.
Okay, very well. Yeah, absolutely.
Spice winks
Hopefully-
at all of the snakes.
Okay, you see one of them
Double
like winks,
what I
two of them
got
like collide
before.
against each other. What was that?
6.
Very nice.
Hey.
So
Diplomacy.
he just says, respectfully, I'm not really doing this for the company. This is for me, and so I don't really want a link between us. But I do come to Lola's from time to time. I don't believe for another few months now.
How much is the chain cannon, please?
For the chain cannon, if you want that in addition to the cryo chamber, 9,500 credits.
I do not believe purchasing with our line of credit would be wise.
And how much is the cryo?
Are you taking it?
Well,
We're already getting it.
And I just want to know how much.
The cryo
The
chamber.
list,
I'm
the
just
list price
curious.
is not even on the market
I'm
yet.
just curious what the list is.
So the cryo chamber is half price from a normal cryo chamber, which I believe is like
Probably the most
30,000
expensive.
credits. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's either
Yeah.
that or the rail that's most expensive.
But yeah.
okay. That
We
sounds...
would most like to do business with you again. However, our current funds are tracked. We only have lines of credit. We cannot hand you direct credit.
Regrettably, then, an additional deal will not really happen.
Understandable.
So the cryo chamber, then.
Yes.
Who could direct me to this ship? It will take me about an hour to get it set up.
Can I put it in the downstairs?
That's way too small.
Is that too small? I don't describe to him the downstairs space.
You see, Gibbs goes, is this too small? And then Gibbs goes, wait. And then Gibbs goes, and then takes like 5 steps and then goes,
I'm like, it's like 3 Gibbs long.
he just goes, based on the size that you've said your ship is, it will fit.
It will fit. Can I
I
put
don't
it there?
understand what you're doing, so just if you could show me.
Can I? Can I?
No.
Where?
A space that we need.
For what?
For people.
To freeze people, perhaps?
Yes.
Captain?
That's what the captain wants, so maybe we
Shut
should
up.
just listen
Upgrade
to
our current
Babe.
hold to the cryo chamber.
Right, the downstairs. The current hole.
Is that actually where it is?
That's the smuggler's bay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where we kept
technically.
Harlax.
It is, so
That's
that's
what we're
so
talking
it is a
about,
smuggler's
the
bay,
smuggler's hole.
which is in and of itself an expansion bay. So you could replace that with that's what you would be doing is losing a smuggler's hold because it's kind of hard to like hide a cryo chamber. There's equipment that pops up.
Yeah, I'm pretty
bays
sure we-
right now.
You do,
Yeah.
and so those would represent.
just do those two.
One of them is currently a medical bay.
Right.
So you
the
have
other
one
one-
free expansion bay, which
Alright.
in my brain is kind of slowly going to become a
Where the
hydroponics
garden
garden.
is, yeah.
So if you want, you could absolutely boot the garden out and set
Well,
up
good
a
thing the
cryo
garden's
chamber.
The garden's mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
no
I'll
problem.
direct them to the
Cool.
to where the garden
Okay.
is.
But
garden is
I'll
right
take
now.
it as my responsibility as medical officer, and I ask if Lola can deliver the dinners to the ship. Is there a drive-thru?
Well, it'll be an hour.
No, it's a spaceship. You can't really just like roll your window down and grab something. I love that idea. Although I guess you could be in the airlock, but that just seems so hard.
I've got little jet
Time it right, like push it, and it floats free across the space, and then you catch it.
I am not much interested in eating right now. If you could grab me a to-go bag, I will happily take over this for you.
Okay, sounds great.
I can also just have host. Oh, so hard to do Lola's voice.
The cough is in character.
Yeah, I know. She's a smoker.
Have host.
I can just have host bring it for you.
Yeah. I'll do that actually. I need a minute. Is that cool? And I'll leave a cred sticks because dinner is on me for keep.
Sure.
So I will foot the mosaic bill for
Okay,
this.
no problem.
Gonna stay and have din.
No, and what I want to ask Sinclair in the brief interim as we're traveling, if tinfoil is an effective method of preventing ship AI from seeing parts of the ship.
So you asked that, and this is through the communicators as you guys both have space helmets on.
Yeah.
And first of all, for what it's worth, as you guys are getting ready to go out, he incredulously watches you, and you put the duct tape around, and then he's about to press the button, and he goes, "Are you going to put on a real costume, a real suit?"
This is my suit. That's all I got.
Really?
Yeah, the Mosaic issued one got a dead deer in it.
You can see he turns and looks at Lola, and Lola goes, "They've been fine before." And he goes, "All right." He presses the button, it opens, you guys go into the airlock,
I
you go
skate,
out.
yeah.
He seems a little nervous at first, but you survive.
Yeah, I'm fine.
And so he heads to his ship. He gets this huge, big black trunk, and he brings it over with him. It has Anubis dynamics on it. You see the jackal face, and he pulls it up and brings it up into the ship. What are you asking him?
Tinfoil.
Oh, right. So before you get to the ship, you ask this question, and he says,
To make a little cone out of it.
"Yeah," and he says, "Ship AI is not a thing, but for preventing a ship VI from interacting, you just need to disconnect it
From the room or from itself entirely?
from the computer."
Okay, if I just want a one room to not have it, how do I do that?
Well, show me the room. Maybe I can help then.
Nice. And so I'll let Sinclair install it wherever the space, the expansion bay that's not being used by the med bay is.
Sure.
And then also show him the med bay, but making sure not to really say out loud exactly why I'm trying to accomplish this, but just
Okay. Yeah.
And I pulling out bags, and I'm gonna rip them apart so they're foil side out and start to pattern the walls a little.
He's gonna see you do two of them, and he's gonna say, "I don't think that's going to do
Okay.
what you're trying to do."
Yeah.
What you're talking about is dampening.
Oh, yes.
You want something like a Faraday cage.
Yes.
We don't produce those in any real meaningful quantity. To be quite honest, Jacinto, I think, has mostly cornered the market on them.
Okay.
They're primarily used in microwaves.
Yeah. Just fit yourself in a microwave.
How do you sell an extra large microwave?
How big? We do have one that
Yosoki
can...
big.
No.
Oh.
I would never advise putting a
Holocaust
living
vibes.
creature into a microwave.
Well, it'd be me, obviously, but okay.
No, that's not obvious. What are you planning on doing to this microwave? Why would you microwave yourself?
No. I just want to hang out in a microwave. I just needed space to hang out. That's all.
Gibbs, what are you talking
I'm
This is just the two of them. He's gonna stop, and you can see he opens the crate, and these little drones come out, and they start moving things and setting them up, and you can see this is these pretty intense cryo chambers that will hold. This is one chamber that will either hold 4 small creatures or 1 large creature, I think it's 4 small creatures or 2 large creatures.
Okay.
I'll double check that. But he pauses and he just kind of goes, "Have you ever considered a room, a sleeping bag? They make these things."
You're the one who offered microwave. I didn't say microwave.
But I didn't know it was for being inside of.
Well, I wanted to be in the room, but that seemed to be too much of a barrier. I'd have to go all the way to Jacinto, and they're not really my favorite friends.
If you ever go about acquiring a large enough microwave to be inside, may I or suggest removing the cage and then just using that.
Okay, if I can figure that out.
Keeping it connected to the microwave poses some very, to me, clear issues.
Well, I didn't know it was just a cage inside the microwave as opposed to just a function of the fact it is a microwave, but I appreciate your clarification, and we'll make sure that I remove the microwaving part of it before using it.
Very good. And he just kind of turns around and starts like going back to working on this thing. But yes, a Faraday cage might work to screen out some of these signals.
So back to the diner, I imagine we're cutting into as we're ordering.
Yeah, sure.
And Bubs go,
Oh, and can we get 2 human lasagnas?
Of course.
and I go to Peep and I point at Peep. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. No, I'm really excited. I haven't had human lasagna really, but I've read all about it. And there's layers.
I don't even know what it is.
I heard, oh my God. Okay, so it's a layer, right?
Yeah.
And they take some kind of a wheat and it looks like grass almost, but somehow it becomes flat. And then they put some kind of tomato on there. And then it's just layer and layer and layer. And it's the same all the way through. Isn't that beautiful?
I mean, it sounds kind of messy.
No, that you just don't get it. You'll see when it comes.
Okay.
So he orders the lasagna, you order the lasagna. All of you can make a order if you wish. I actually forgot the. I don't remember where the menu went off to.
You looking for the menu?
Oh right, you have the menu. Look at that.
I have it.
So the menu has not changed.
The Eat Sweets nachos.
The Eats Meats Nacho is definitely still
somewhere in
available.
here.
You can see everything that is originally at Lola's Diner. And if you're wondering why we just happen to have a menu of Lola's Diner, it is because there is a one-shot, The Diner and the Drift. You can see that on YouTube, at Oberon RPG. So all those things still there. You get your warm water, you get your tap water, you get your sparkling water, you get lasagna. And what I will say is, the lasagna, when it does reach your table, not the human lasagna that you were expecting.
Oh, okay.
You have never seen human lasagna move in the way that this moves.
Oh, no.
So first of all, like even as she's bringing it over, you could hear, now get back on there. And she like pushes it over. You can hear the snake hiss. But this lasagna, it is served on like a large conch shell almost. And you can see there are these little tentacles that look very squid-like in ways. Although as they move, you can see they like pulse in different colors. And then inside of that, there is some kind of like a fungus, like mushroom maybe, that has been wedged inside. And then most disconcerting of all, there is something that you cannot identify. Maybe cheese, maybe snow. It has a texture that's a little bit hard. And then as you touch it, trying to be like, is this cheese? It just melts and becomes liquid. And it's very, very disconcerting. And the smell for some reason, very much of nutmeg. Not anything like what you are visualizing. And that in alone is just very, very weird.
Thank God Bubs can't smell. Bubs, when he gets it, he's probably just going to go,
Peep, you can have one.
but when it comes.
Yeah. So she drops off whatever it is that you order from Lola's. And you can make your way back if you want. And like host is got to be packaging up all these things, but then you can either eat on the ship if you want, or you can eat in the diner.
Spice is going to opt for the diner.
Okay.
Do they sell alcohol here?
I don't believe so.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They have still sparkling or water.
I would probably stay at the diner until an appropriate amount of time has passed where we've celebrated with Peep at our meal, and then try to leave to get back to the ship a little earlier to communicate with
So if you are talking to Peep a little bit and you're celebrating and stuff, Peep is going to say, so again, have you thought at all about the kind of bounties I should be looking for you next?
Desks.
Okay. Any more kind of concrete guidance?
Mines of Siren.
That's where you're going.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I told you about Tombstone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have that one.
So
I did have an
another?
interest in visiting Garache once more.
Okay. I can see.
Ooh, can we see Ethy at Aphrodite?
In Mars?
Uh-huh. Oh, Prime Station.
I mean, Mars would be easy. There's a lot of criminals on Mars. If you want to go to Prime Station.
No, just kidding. Not Prime Station. It's Aphrodite
And the Mars. It's a
and Mars and
I would like to go, there's a place called Dark Star Station.
Okay.
It's like near like the end of, like it's far-reaching space. And I'm like look it up. I believe it's called
The end of the universe.
No, that's the
galaxy?
It's the bar.
It's not Dark Star Station. That's the station, but
It's the Moon of Zin.
Moon of Zin, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, it's in the Moon of Zin.
Moon of Zin. Why have I heard that before?
That, I believe, is Garache.
What is that?
Garache is the Moon of Zin. And he's going to say...
Jacinto.
Garache is one of the moons of Zin. Zin... Why?
Oh, I just, I heard it's nice, and I have some people there that I'd like to see.
Do you know Lydell from Jacinto?
No.
Didn't we do a bounty for him originally? Is that how we like?
No, he's a friend.
Oh.
He's there.
Well, we technically did a bounty for him. We returned the. It was the second episode when we were
Right.
on the planet.
You returned stolen property.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I meant. Yeah.
It was the camouflage stuff.
Oh, does Chesterfield have a bounty yet?
Chesterfield doesn't have a bounty.
Okay.
Chesterfield's gone into politics, I guess. Things are getting weird on Rat King, quite frankly. Have you been keeping up with everything?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I check on junk phones, I've got the saved hashtags really quick. Like, what's
Yeah.
the few trending things?
Yeah, I mean, still trending right now. There are debates that are shaping up on Rat King as the primaries of these kind of like political.
And who's on my side?
On your side?
Yeah.
So at the moment, right now, there are no established parties. This is like really, they're polling, they're doing these things where like they're trying to figure out who are the candidates actually going to be to represent the district that Rat King is in.
Okay.
At the moment, there is no like established people. However, the freshies, certainly. They are going to be running off of the Rentropy Party. And as you might imagine, a little bit of backing from that corporation. They do have a tremendous, there are ads out, they're very professionally put together. They have paid people to like come in and film things. Like when they film the Rat King developments, they are not the buildings that are in Rat King. These are like beautiful condos. Like you being from Rat King, you spot the skyline, certainly not Rat King. This is like a different planet.
Right.
And so like there's definitely some shenanigans happening.
Yeah. Well, I assumed like most politicians, he also had a bounty.
I'm sure he does, but Rentropy is pretty powerful. And for whatever they're doing for recycling, it seems like they have a lot of political power too.
But Peep, tell me you don't believe it.
Believe
It's not really recycling. It's incinerating.
I don't really think it's incinerating either. To be honest, Rentropy seems kind of silly to me. It seems like it's really just a way of moving trash around. But that's not really my job. They do seem to have a pretty powerful lobbying arm. And so I'd be really careful if you're going to get involved with this. I know you have family there and everything, but...
I'm just gonna write some angry tweets. That's all, Peep. Nothing to worry about.
You just need to make sure if there's people there that you care about that they're safe.
Okay, so like bounties there would be great.
We'll see what we can do.
But not my family, of course. That'd be weird.
Well, you want to know if they have a bounty, right?
Yeah, I want to know if they have a bounty, but like, I don't want to be put to get it.
Oh, do any of you guys want to know if like your family has bounties? By the way, I guess I never asked.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't have any family.
Yeah, I know. It'd be really easy. There are people you have in your paperwork. Who's his contact?
Steel.
Iron?
Steel.
No, Steel.
Steel. Yeah. What about him?
Cast Iron Kankashi, though, is my dad.
Nice.
Sort of.
It's weird that you both have metal dads.
Your dad, no, because your dad does have a bounty.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
he does.
Or he did
Anyways,
for a while.
You know where that bounty went? It went on to me, Peep.
You don't have a bounty.
I have, she holds up the talisman, this.
Carbon Cartel.
What?
Yeah.
People have been after Spice
Yeah.
to collect it.
I'm sorry. When did this happen?
Aura's Bay.
Yeah, I have it on Aura's Bay.
I thought you knew.
That's a little bit different than just like
This is like
brushing
bounty
with-
times 5, isn't it?
Do you understand what that is?
$12 billion.
No, it's 20
Yes.
million
It's
credits.
a huge
Basically
amount
the
of
same
credits.
thing.
It depends on whatever the cartel put out, but it's going to be huge. And if there are more than one of those, people will be killing each other to
I
get
think
them.
there's 4 and we've got 1.
Well, why? My thought
kidding, there's
is
7.
my dad.
There's 7.
You would know better than I would.
That means that there's 7 groups, or at least 7 groups that are after Spice right now.
Hey, but look, we got one.
So like if we're ever derailed or something because of this, like it's not really our fault. We're just gonna deal with it.
How is it not your fault?
Well, it's not her fault. She's got the bounty. It's her dad's bounty.
The reason why I bring this up is because I think Hisoka was involved in this.
How much was... Do you know how much the bounty is on you? Like an actual number?
I know how much the car.
250 million?
No,
It was-
20
It was some
million.
kind of million.
I believe it was 22 million.
22.
That's just a little bit more than what your dad's debt was.
I guess I accumulated some interest.
What's your dad like? He wouldn't like sell his debt on to you, right? That
Have you ever heard the term deadbeat dad, Pete?
yeah.
Well, my dad ruined my family. My mom used to be a fun, loving mother, and then my dad left us, like the coward that he is.
So I guess don't rule out whatever you were starting to think about there.
Yeah. So it seems like probably, and I'll look into this now. This is a big deal. Please tell me about stuff
It's a
like this.
family issue. I don't know. I'm in a work environment. It doesn't come up.
If this
I mean,
is
it came up once.
if this is coming back to you, the only thing that I can think of is that your dad either faked his death or in some way transferred this debt onto you.
I wouldn't put it past him.
In Bubs' mind, he's thinking about maybe there's like a generational curse to Spice. And when they say, and the echoes of the words, everything Spice touches turns to shit, just echoes in his head.
The curse of the shit ends.
But yeah, I guess if there's ever anybody that you want to know about, just let me know.
Yeah,
But
me.
I'll-
Do I have a
I'll-
bounty?
No, not at the, well, hang on. Actually, I haven't looked this morning. And he goes, you can see he pulls up his communicator and he just goes, nothing for Gibbs Cabrat.
Nice.
I think we're gonna do well on TJ's bounty board.
I kept my nose clean, you guys.
Yeah, almost guaranteed when it comes out on Friday, you guys are going to be above 4,000. I bet, I can't even imagine. I'm really excited.
So how does that work though? If she's got this huge bounty with
Well,
a
that's
million
Carbon
people-
Cartel. That's different.
But
That's-
if we're on the TV,
That's going to be an issue.
every time this comes up,
You need to make sure that if you are doing interviews, you are long gone by the time it comes up. And if they ask you where you are going next, do not tell anybody.
Well, it's
Please.
sealed. I do have a question about a bounty.
Yeah,
Have you heard the name Raph, aka Bastion?
Bastion.
Jacinto related?
I've heard of Bastion.
That was his fake name on Ars Bay.
Well, that's interesting. On Oars Bay, after you and Bubbles had your issues, I began to look around a little bit and try to pay attention to what was being said, limit the damage as much as we could. Nazma helped, which all of you should really thank Nazma at some point because
We do owe him a
the
lot.
work that he does to keep you all looking clean in the media, I can't even imagine. But that being said, lost my train of thought.
Raph.
Oh, Raph.
Yeah,
When I was looking around through all of this, there was somebody named Bastion who kept coming up on forums relating to like this. It can't be the same person, but like really like it was people looking for like really little recreational drugs, like pot, things like that.
Like sugar, perhaps?
No, not even that extreme. Like this was like tourists who were coming from really strict worlds and wanted to like unwind. This would be like somebody going to Earth who's never had alcohol before and having a little alcohol, as long as your systems wouldn't just completely erupt.
that's
does
him
track.
though. Yeah.
That tracks.
The guy, it was Red, wasn't it? Who wanted us to take him out because he was messing with the casino business.
Well, he was just like people. He was low level.
Correct.
Do you remember how you told us to be careful around Red, and we had to do like a mission for him, and you said you didn't want to know. Well, that's
Then he doesn't want to know.
Does this have to do with the Carbon Cartel?
No.
Yes. It does.
All right. Tell me, what is this thing?
well, well, Red wanted us to do a hit on this guy named Bastion, who I guess was like a drug dealer, or in Oris Bay, and well, we went to do the hit. You actually gave us the guns to do it. You remember? But things, how hits turn out. It got a little, convoluted, and
Bubbles, we're bounty hunters. We're not hitmen.
I know we didn't.
But we had this whole conversation.
We didn't kill him, but he had all this like money, and he said he wanted to, I don't know, bring back nature to the planet, and he said Exonautica. Have you heard of that place?
Yeah, Exonautica is a city in the Sol system.
He said there was some great importance there, and something about being from there, or how the environment really needs to just take over and do what it does normally. It was kind of similar to what Jade was kind of talking about, Jade Bernai, but it was different. I don't know. It's all kind of connected a little bit.
But as we were taking out the bounty, Red ambushed us, right?
Yeah.
And tried to take Spice out while we were busy with the bounty, so we would have two enemies, and that's how we found out about the Carbon Cartel. So we ended up taking out Red, but Bastion escaped in a Jacinto van.
Okay, so now this is starting to make more sense, and I apologize. I should have listened to whatever it was that you guys were doing, because this is kind of a big deal. If Jacinto's involved, that's a huge corporation. In fact, there really isn't a bigger one.
And they're protecting him or something?
We have to be really careful about looking even around for this. Searching for this kind of stuff, that will draw attention. Does anybody know anybody who can, discreetly look up this information?
I have my contact Steele. He might be able to, or Echo, do you know anyone?
I do not.
What?
While this conversation is happening,
Yeah.
I'd like to use my whisper comms to try and signal to Echo to go back to the ship.
Yeah, I believe that is a sleight of hand check.
I think it's actually a perception check or a sense motive check for other people to notice
okay.
that I'm
Gotcha.
communicating.
So do all of us at the table
Is
do
it
sense
perception
motive?
or sense
Who are you
motive?
trying to hide this from?
Everyone at the table,
Okay.
except for Echo,
Yeah,
obviously.
make sense motive checks. Peep, for what it's worth, gets a 12.
It's anyone observing me using it.
I'm not observing.
Yeah, actually,
so I'm
Peep
not
isn't
even-
really observing either. He's not, paying attention.
Yeah.
30.
So,
I'm
Gibbs
talking to
notices.
Pete, so
26.
Echo notices too, luckily.
yeah, she's talking.
I don't think Spice gets a 11.
Nope.
All right, so only Gibbs and obviously Echo notice it.
I carry on the conversation with Peep, sort of squinting,
Okay.
but moving on, sort of helping fill in as much of the story as I can with...
And at a lull in that, I'm going to excuse myself to go take care of Squeak.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, and then, he was so attractive, and that, that V area, ugh. He was always shirtless. And the eyeliner?
I apologize. I am going to have to take care of Nikolai.
Okay. What V area?
When we were making waffles, it was just counter height. It was...
Oh. Well,
You
I've
know
never
who
had a
thought it was the
V-shaped waffle.
sexiest? Bubbles.
Well, no, babe. I just respected his abilities to fight. It's something that people who are warriors.
Do you know how many of
Yeah.
our people that we've killed that
Warrior.
Bubs has kissed?
And
I start to count.
I haven't
Wait,
kissed.
how high is that count?
It's 3.
The only person
That's a lot.
That's-
3 isn't a lot of people
that's
to
not-
kiss,
that's
but
more than
that's
even
not
me.
true at all. Spice, my heart only belongs to you and only you.
But not his lips.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
And I
The
neg this
dancer?
on as much as I can.
That's not true.
So as your supervisor, I'm going to advise that you maybe keep some of this a little bit more separate from your work.
That's not really their MO, but
Yeah.
anyways, and I'll just sort of occupy Peep's time filling him in on some of the nitty-gritty details about our bounties.
Yeah.
Just like in sincere camaraderie, as like, oh, he didn't actually want us dead and we survived, and like he should understand some of the realities of like what we go through, and it's all obviously done through Gibbs's like lens and bias of like, you know, she's opinionated.
Yeah.
But yes.
And I would say, well, there's parts of this that you don't really know yet, and so there are bigger pictures here, and it's hard because as your supervisor, there's stuff that I wish I could tell you, but I just can't.
I'm hearing that from everywhere right now.
Well, it's just
Peep.
what?
I take off my communicator and I put it in my glass of warm water.
That's
Just
And I
You just got that.
yeah, it's fine. It's just water damage. And I like kind of like push it away, and I'm
Why?
like, Peep,
why?
I gotta tell you about the ship.
Why?
The ship is being
No,
weird.
not that. Why the communicator?
Because I don't want the ship to hear us.
He like points, and you can see there's
All of
speakers
our
above you. There's
communicators
like
are
that
next to
jukebox that
you.
waves to you. There's like a million different electronics all over the place.
I'm gonna write you a
Just with
letter.
Okay,
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 and you better read it.
I will.
Okay.
This is really confusing.
It is for me too, and I don't know what to do.
Okay,
All right, and I take my communicator out
okay,
and I put it back on my wrist.
no problem. You have a wet communicator.
Yeah.
You broke one. Now you have another broken one. Just breaking all the.
Come on, these have to be waterproof at this point.
They're not like supposed to just be dropped in the water. But either way, yeah, I'm sure
Even
it's
the
fine.
waterproof iPhones now, you can't just
Yeah,
drop
that's
in the
true.
water.
Yeah, for a
Yeah,
minute.
but it's 2020 to 2250.
2250. There is no water.
It's only worms.
It's waterproof because water.
It's not
is
worm
water.
eliminated.
Yeah, exactly. It's the worm. It was the worm water. And that's what did it in. But no problem.
Anyway,
You have your meal.
Have you heard anything about that Dr. Maldros bounty?
Dr. Maldros, the one for GPF.
Yeah.
It's only gone up, but he's basically just dropped off the radar. He's disappeared. I have ideas about where we might be able to look. The GPF, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And I think with the USR too, to be quite honest, and I don't really work with anybody in the Vescarium, so I don't know about that, but
oh.
yeah, there's something going on.
You
Well,
think we're
I-
at
Go ahead.
You think we're at the brink of another world war? If all these people are
World's War.
world's war gathering,
Sort of stuff.
they're all starting to get skittery, and I know when scab rats get skittery, it's because a fight's about to break out.
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine why there would be, but the last time that there was something like this, it was right before the Vesk War, when the raids were happening. But there's nothing like that happening right now.
What were they fighting over? Like, what was the heart of the content at the Vesk War?
The Vescarium was
Spice
trying
gets
to
up and
expand.
leaves.
Yeah. And so he gives you like a brief history about the Vescarium was trying to expand.
Right.
The Vescarium is not in near
Alright,
space. It's
so-
actually not in the Milky Way. And so it is like a neighboring, abutting, a little closer than the Andromeda Galaxy. And they compose of, I think, 12 or 11 worlds. And they wanted to expand. This was just going to be the next world in their conquest. And this is a very, very like imperialistic empire, and
Right.
also very Vesk forward.
And
And I want to go off the information that I believe you actually looked this up one time and explained it to us.
Yes.
So Gibbs probably just forgot.
you mentioned one time, Gibbs, I think you probably forgot, but how the war ended. There was some kind of force that caused it to end. I don't remember. What was it? Do you remember?
The force that caused it to end.
Yeah, like they stopped fighting.
Something happened in the Vescarium that caused them to pull back, and it's still not incredibly clear. If you talk to the GPF, they'll say just overwhelming superiority tactics. The USR says the same thing, but almost everybody who really knows anything about this would say that there was something else that happened. And the Vesk, they don't talk about things that happen in their space. So unless you can find a Vesk who will talk to you, it's going to stay a mystery forever.
Yeah, that checks out. Okay.
Well, maybe we'll find one in the mines of Siren. They're gathering support there. So that's probably our biggest hurdle, or at least known hurdle right now.
I mean, the biggest hurdle is the screaming fields of Siren, probably before
Wait,
you.
screaming fields? You think it's Sonic-y?
No, it's called the screaming fields because they're around the central gravitational point. There is debris, and as the debris collides, it has formed a huge field of debris that swirls around at about 16,000 miles an hour. And so it screams through space.
Oh,
You don't actually hear it.
Cool.
A lot of it's ice and comets, and there are a few bits of asteroids and a lot of debris from the other ships that have been wrecked there. And then after that, the super dense debris field would be difficult to navigate through. And then once you get through there, your contact is at Canosa Station.
Oh,
Once you get there, it should be okay.
cool.
Until you have to leave.
All right, I think we got everything. Beep. Gibbs, you ready? You paid the check?
Yeah. I have a known problem with sonic damage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if you ever find a solution to that, it causes my bottle to crack. I had to get it fixed.
Oh, so just the bottle.
Well, me.
I'm confused. Do you want us to coat the bottle in something to prevent it from cracking from sonic damage?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Let me
Thanks.
ask Vess
Yep.
and see if they can come up with some kind of a solution.
Like a sock.
Well, Vesson is a scientist, and so I'm going to let them decide.
An oven mitt.
Yeah, I'm going to defer to the scientist.
Knitted.
Come on, Gibbs, we gotta
Oh,
go.
I'm
Lola!
gonna grab Gibbs.
Yeah, Lola wheels over a big pallet of to-go Lola's Diner boxes.
Fuck yes.
No problem.
Lola, honey.
Yeah.
Spice. Oh, yeah, Spice. Well, okay. This is actually good. So after Spice left the conversation, she would have gone to go find Lola.
Okay.
And she struts up to Lola, flicks her a cigarette, and goes,
The Shunta sister in arms told me about an augmentation master that I can meet here. Do you know anything about that, Lola?
Oh, yeah. Hang on one second. Let me roll my calendar. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Come back next week.
You're going to have to wait until June for that one, but make one more diplomacy
That's
check,
when they're
Spice.
ripe.
All the augmentations really come in June.
ooh,
man.
natural 19. That's
Nice.
gonna be a high one.
Nice.
19, 29,
For you, honey,
34.
I'll have them get in touch with you. But they're a little strange. Just understand, not everybody can be so. And she goes, charming. The little
well-
snakes behind her.
So cute. Well, give him my contact, and she beeps her contact.
Okay, you're going to add Lola as a contact.
Perfect.
So what about the androids?
Zooming over back to the ship. You in the bathroom. You
Oh, I'm feeding Pete.
walking the cactus.
Beauty bee.
Whatever it is. I can't remember. Squeak. Couldn't remember what it was that you were doing, but you have made your excuse. You have made your way to the ship.
So I read my spells for the first time.
Telepathy?
Yeah. Echo's gonna
No,
attempt
I
to
haven't read in a long time.
cast a telepathic message
Yeah.
at Shade, and Shade needs to make a DC 25 perception check.
I think I can probably manage that. I say, about to roll a third one.
Wasn't it one?
It was not good. I have not rolled above a 6 today.
Happy
It was a
birthday.
6.
Retire the die, man.
Not the new shade dice.
So that's a 20. You know, it's just us. We can talk now.
Just write on a piece of paper and hand it to him.
Shay just goes, all right, we can talk now. We can actually talk like people. What's up? What's up?
Well, I still have my whisper comm.
Yeah.
So I can just like
No, I think.
I get it.
essentially telepathically
No, I get it.
communicate, but like, what did you want to talk about? Can I
Echo.
try again? Can I take 20
Yeah,
to
I feel
perceive
Yeah, go
it?
for it. You don't have to
wheel.
take 20. And what I'll say is with the wheel.
With the wheel.
Yeah, with the
we have
wheel.
the wheel.
Okay.
This can be this can be really you just kind of going, and then you like pull up the antenna.
I was
So
just
this
too
is-
focused on feeding Squeak.
Trying to flavor it as like a short range burst, but
Yeah.
also like it's
Yeah.
not through the communicators.
Yeah.
And that's the important part of it.
Yeah.
10 words only. Do not trust director now. Respond?
Confirmed.
And this lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Echo Unit 540 in trouble. Request permission.
Last known location.
Unknown. Director seems to have understanding. However, do not trust.
Understood. Will assist as able.
Attempting to trace communication, however, used monitored communication when received.
Mysterious message from earlier.
Indeed, was researching into Mosaic LLC's founding board.
In relation to Mosaic.
Mosaic LLC specifically, concerned that Mosaic LLC has no board.
Will look into.
Be careful. Do not use Infosphere ship monitors.
Understood.
Ship is passing along information concerning.
Agreed.
Captain. Concerned for mutiny, among others. Possibility.
I'll speak with Spice.
Understood. Attempting long-range communications relay. However, attempting long-range.
I can just say, go on.
I'm getting tired. I'm still doing it, but I'm just not here.
Continue.
He's right.
I just have to press A after every 10 words.
Require assistance to establish connection. Last no. Oh,
That's 10.
Continue.
A.
last known meeting place. Moon of Zin. Garache.
Karache. Garache?
Karachi.
Garache.
G-R-C-H-E.
Getting all of that information, seeing that this is probably the last communication, gonna flip back into like conversational as I'm like, giving Squeak his treats.
Sure.
Echo, I appreciate your support on the team. You may wonder why I chose Bubs as acting captain in the event of my incapability.
I do not. I believe the others will follow Bubs. Not because of leadership skills, but I find him a sympathetic figure for the others.
I'm glad that you agree. I do, however, recognize your capability above some of the other members of the team in doing what needs to be done.
Recognition is not required. It is just required that it is done.
I will look towards you for doing the things that need to be done when I'm unable to.
Understood.
Androids.
That's how androids handle meetings with HR.
To get a rock and roll guitar sound that we could play at the end of the Android scenes. Androids. But yeah, no problem. So great. You guys have this silent communication, hoping that the director isn't just watching you staring at each other in a quiet room for 10 minutes. It probably looks a little strange. That being said, probably not monitors this communication, and so very, very wisely done. You talk. The rest of you have your time at the diner. You gather your food. You bring it back to the ship. All of you now board your ship once more. You have significantly more diner food. Lola gives you seconds of everything. And so you have doubles of lasagna. You guys get doubles of the eats meats.
Wumpus Rumples or whatever.
The
Wumpus Rumples?
Wump-rumpus gonads.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's what I remember off the menu.
Because it's the Wumprumpus gonads. Everyone remembers the Wumprumpus gonads.
Once you had them, it's really hard to forget.
Yeah.
Just
But-
pop those bags in the air fryer for 3 minutes.
They
They're
do
good
pop.
as good.
Gretchen cricket chips.
The cricket chips, fantastic.
The unagi, I got that.
Cookies.
Yeah, that was good. The eel was pretty good. So all of you find your way back to the ship, having food in tow. And as you board and you cross into your cargo bay for the first time, Bubs, your area, very clean. That was once covered in like some soil and some trowels and things. That's all been moved. And there's one very large, it looks almost like what you would imagine a teleportation pad to be. And you can see above it and below it, similar actually in ways to Sitsu's instant like drying machine. This looks similar. And you would imagine this very quickly creates whatever effect it is that it's used for.
I
Projects.
put my leftovers in it.
Okay.
Do they freeze?
No. There's controls and
Oh, I press the buttons. I like learn how to use it,
Okay.
testing on my leftovers.
no problem. So you watch as Gibbs puts the leftovers in and she presses the big red button and you see deet, deet, deet. And there's and like little frost crystals come out. And as you like look away and look back, everything is coated in like a thick level of frost. And you can see it like drifts off in a way that suggests this is not ice, like water ice. This is probably some chemical composition designed to keep something frozen for a very long time. And every now and then, as you like test this out, there is like a little of like a maintenance burst, similar to like a water freshener that you see at a grocery store.
Yeah.
But it just keeps this topped off.
Spice looks over at Squeak and looks at the cryo chamber and then looks at Squeak
Just kind of growls
and
at
then
you.
looks at the cryo chamber, walks over to Squeak.
But I just want to try something. Come on, honey.
And he just, you hear his like paws skitter on the metal, and then he runs down the hallway. You hear "Arf!" like echo down as he runs away.
As
What are you doing, boy?
You see, he just into the cockpit, and he jumps up on the chair next to you.
as they're doing like their things and they're doing the cryo bay things, Bubs is gonna find a quiet area, maybe the armory or something, and he's gonna make a call to Steel.
Okay.
Um,
You make that call, and it goes through.
Oh, hey, Steel, it's me.
Hey, what do you need? Is everything okay?
Oh no,
We're busy right now.
everything's okay. I
You
was.
got my message, right?
Yeah, I got your message.
Things are getting really hectic here.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was hoping if you could maybe help me with maybe you could give me a recommendation for a contact or something.
For what?
I need a private investigator. I need to find someone on Garach on the moons of Zen.
Okay. Who?
I'll just give you the information. His name is Julian Onzabanki.
And for this person, do you want to know everything, or what are you looking for?
As much as you can find, but I mostly want to know where he is now and what's going on with him in terms of just like where he is on the station, what's he doing, what his last known, occupations, people he's interacted with.
Like I said, I'm pretty busy, but I have a bit stalker I could use, and we'll see if they're available. Is there anything else? I'm sorry, I'm just really busy right now.
What are you doing?
We've had 3 attacks this week, and they're only getting more frequent.
Are they pirates still?
Yeah, and they're getting bold. They're starting to attack some of the prime peacekeeping forces around the periphery of the beacon. I don't know what this is, but if you're gonna come back this way, be careful. That beacon's not safe.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure to let my team know that.
and I'll probably just group chat my friends about that information about the pirates.
Okay.
Have you ever had girl troubles, Steel?
You know, son, I'd like to tell you that I haven't, but everybody does. If you're finding... Listen, if somebody ever tells you that you look strange, or that you look kind of like an egg.
No, it's not. It's not like
Hard boiled.
finding someone.
Did
It's
someone call you Humpty Dumpty?
Soft boiled, hard
Call
boiled.
you uncanny.
have you? I don't know. Have you ever been in a situation where you know the right thing to do, but no matter how hard you want to do it, you just can't?
Yeah. You know, when you're feeling like that, son, it means you know what you need to do already. It doesn't make it any easier.
All right. Thank you, Steele. I'll try to remember that.
It's gonna feel really shitty for maybe a long time, but it gets better.
I'll try to remember that.
All right, I'll let you know what I find out about this guy.
All right, thanks.
Steal out and just goes away. No problem. You all make your way back to the ship, and are you taking off to the drift? And if so, are you setting your coordinates for Siren?
I guess so.
You
Here we
punch-
go, babe. Are you ready? She turns over to Gibbs.
Oh, fuck. No, I forgot something.
Oh, the new drift dice. That was a
Yeah.
great birthday
God,
present, by the way.
I was like, I'm forgetting something when I got in the car.
We had a little Matt birthday party on Saturday, and I almost said Echo. Kara was nice enough to get Matt some new dice to make you not roll like crap. In
It's
the
all
drift.
6s.
5. No, you had a 5.
Yeah.
You had a 5. So go ahead and roll your drift dice as you punch these coordinates in.
All right.
This is it. This,
This
is,
is-
how we,
this
this is how we
doesn't
end the
count.
episode.
Yeah.
With a 6. This is it. This is how we end it. Come on.
3.
Yay!
Fantastic. So with the 3, you punch these coordinates in, and all of you like anxiously look up at the clock, and weirdly, this time
Dun, dun.
it is not 6 days. Significantly shorter will this trip be. And as
Half
you watch
time.
this clock begin to count down, and you do, for the first time, begin to make your way in earnest to Siren, towards Crumb. This is where we're going to end for the evening. But excellent work. You guys have finally finished shopping.
Yay!
2 sessions in.
Two sessions.
You got to try. You got a cryo chamber. When you mentioned it last session, I was like, just wait, Ari, just wait. But yeah, cryo chamber was coming to you guys.
I was gonna zip tie a bunch of fire extinguishers and just make a bullshit cryo chamber.
That's why I was really like,
I don't think that's how it works.
Guys, leave me alone.
but in
It's-
Gibbs's mind, that's
yeah.
absolutely
It's
how
like
it works.
I take the basic principles and
Computer
just
dusters.
yeah.
It's like
It's
how
trial and
the-
error. You know, like the first time, fire extinguishers.
It's like
The
how
next
the
time,
military used like a
ice
bunch
machine,
of
and then you're just gonna build.
PlayStations
Yeah.
connected or
I just-
whatever.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Leave
a
the freezer
real
door
thing.
open.
Still. So thank you so much for hanging out with us for this session of Starfinder. We will be back next week on Thursday, but if you can't wait until then, we're going to be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Courts of Ever Session 15. I'll be running that game. It's our original D&D campaign. Matt's going to be there as Ori. Kara's going to be there as Billy, who is alive. We're going to be
Totally alive.
totally alive.
So alive that you gotta say it.
We're going to be joined by Tina, Hannah, and Alana as well. But that's tomorrow night. If you can't wait until then, or no, you got to wait until then. That's the
Wait
next time
until
we're going to be
then.
here. So we'll see you next
You
week.
wait.
Please stay safe.
Be there or be square.
We'll see you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bow boys.
Siren.